Today's sponsor of the Vision Quest podcast is 920 Hat Company. Leather patch hats are in, and 920 Hat Company is here to hook you up with your very own custom hat. All patches are lasered on top-grade genuine leather and on popular brand hats like Richardson and FlexFit. Whether you're looking to show off your business or want a one-of-a-kind hat for yourself, 920 Hat Company can do it all. All the hats are handcrafted right in the Fox Valley, but worn across America. With over 500 hats in stock, they guarantee fast turnaround times. Honestly, Liam, looking at these hats, solid, right?
Yeah, they're pretty. I like them.
I like that patch itself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one-of-a-kind stuff. I know his name's Trevor. He does great work. He's actually gotten I think we got a knit hat coming.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we got that coming. So we're really excited to have these guys on board as a sponsor. So get down to check them out on Facebook. I believe they're on Instagram. Check them out, man. They got the best hats, I think, in the Fox Valley, if not in the state.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So get down to 920 Hat Company on social media and check them out. All right, everybody. We are back for another installment, or whatever you call those, installment another episode of Terre with Lucas Steldt. Lucas, welcome. Appreciate you joining us. We have fun as always talking to you, but we have a lot to cover. There's you sent me a lengthy list of things that you want to talk about, and I think we got to get to. I think you touched on the first thing was the camps, which you said was new.
No, it's just the first camp of the year.
Oh, first camp of the year. What was what did you want to talk about with the camps? So you said the camps, and then something about what the events that they all have. So anywhere from the cadets and juniors to seniors, you're talking about the events going on after their camps.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about is just I got back late last night.
Yeah.
I got to tell a quick story about the airport, but I just got back from camp last night. And the camp ends on Tuesday, I believe, or Wednesday.
Yep.
But most people are leaving on Tuesday and Wednesday because there's a tournament in I'm not sure it's nice or whatever, Nice France.
Yeah.
For the freestyle. There's one Greco guy going. I really don't know him very well. And then most is a freestyle. Humongous freestyle contingent from USA is going to the Nice France. I think they're all going to be leaving probably middle of next week, end of next week.
Okay. Okay.
And for girls and guys, I mean, there's a lot of guys going.
Oh yeah, the Grand Prix. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And why? And Twitter, I had this thing called Greco Friday Facts every Friday. Every so often, I put a little thing out there. It's like just a little quote or whatever. I might steal from somebody or make something up.
Yeah.
Whatever. And a couple guys are kind of anti-Greco on there, so they kind of always say something back. I just simply don't reply. And one of them said something like, "Hey, there's only one guy going to Nice, whatever it's saying to France." And I wanted to say, so the reason why nobody in Greco is going to that tournament is because the seniors are all going to Croatia 2 weeks from now. Because the France tournament is not the non-ranking tournament.
Okay.
So it's
gotcha.
Yeah, and so to compete in France and then 2 weeks later compete again is just too much. It's too much at that level.
Where'd you say
two major tournaments?
The other one was going to be at
Croatia.
Huh?
Croatia, you said? Oh, Zagreb. Yeah,
Croatia,
Zagreb.
yeah,
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Grand Prix. That's where everybody's going.
That's ranking series right there for sure.
Yeah.
So
that one is paid for. That's what you said. And then the top, but that one's hard to get into. Like we have a couple guys that try getting in that are U23s. U23s, and they're good. And I don't mention their names, but they couldn't get in because there's the camp, and where they're training and we're competing in training is in Terre, Croatia.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful on Adriatic Sea. We usually go there every May to train with the girls and the guys.
Okay.
From cadets all the way through senior. Oh, It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's limited space. And so they only USA Wrestling only pays for 1 and 2 or just maybe 1 to go.
Yeah.
And they only have it's not like unlimited space. In May there's more space. And now people are all trying to wrestle because of the COVID deal, so it gets packed pretty quick. They usually they only allow in so many athletes, so it's still up in me.
With that being said, you said that the USA Wrestling does is it the top 1 or 2 guys? What is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so then those 2 are allowed in, or they have room for us. So then, are there other athletes then that can be selected then to go if they choose to pay for things, or no? It's just those top 2 guys.
No, top 2 guys.
Okay. All right.
It's more of a spacing issue more than anything.
Sure. Sure. Right on.
So like it's just so much popularity with this tournament.
Okay.
It's a very annual it's a very traditional tournament.
Okay.
So it fills up a lot of countries there. So it's just a spacing issue.
Well, the Zagreb sounds familiar to me. It's not, I know I've heard of it, since he was little, and just listening to you guys talking about the international guys wrestling. So that it definitely makes sense that, and now that seeing it's a ranking series. So that's what qualifies USA Wrestling paying for something also is a ranking series. Yeah,
so like if you're a 1, 2, or 3, you get some money to go to there.
Okay.
If you're a 1, you get everything paid for. A 2, probably everything.
Okay.
And so that's them. And the U.S. wrestlers like paying for ranking series. They're paying for, I think, for all but one ranking series tournament.
Okay. All right.
I think there's one they're not paying for. I know there's one at least they're not paying for.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, it's so far, but so has that grown in the past? And I know we probably mentioned this a little bit, but has that allotment, I guess, grown in the past decade or 20 years or whatever it is for how many athletes can go per event kind of thing, where if it's a full team, things like that. So it sounds like a lot of these tournaments are selective when it comes to who goes, especially with the ranking series, right?
Yeah. No, it does. If anything, it's probably shrunk, I mean, for money financially, financially it's shrunk.
Okay.
Ouch. It's less $20 there.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like we could talk about the coaching situation too. That we'll dive into that a little bit.
Yep.
But no, but it's still, you only can get there's only 10 weight classes, right?
Mm-hmm,
and there's like 2 guys. So I mean, it's always kind of been that. If anything, there's probably more athletes going now.
Okay.
There's probably more athletes going now because we have a little bit more athletes, and there's 10 weight classes now. So I mean, I don't think there's no more money. The only way there's more money is from pride, where we didn't have 20 years ago, is like sponsorships. Because there is more money in wrestling, sponsorship, shoe deals, and the Sunkus kids, etc.
Yeah. Who do you? So there's a couple other events that are coming up too that I noticed. The U.S. Open. That's going to be.
That's in April. Yeah, that's way out. So like what the schedule is right now for the seniors is going to be Croatia's coming up. There's France. One guy's going there for Greco, but a lot of freestyle guys are going to France.
Okay.
I mean, there's a crap load, I think.
Yeah.
If you look it up, there's going to be a lot of American versus American matches, I think, in men's, it looks like.
Sure. Yep. Well,
it looks like it. There's a lot of doubling up.
Right.
So, and then, so the Greco's going to Croatia for seniors, and then we come home, or a lot of guys are staying. Some guys are staying, and then we have, sometimes we go to Hungary and compete in February, and then we always do Thor Masters in April in Denmark.
I saw that on the list.
And then we stay there and train, and we come back right before the U.S. Open.
Yep.
And then U.S. Open for the seniors qualifies you for the I must say X-Files all the time. Final X. I just got this old.
Same here.
And then after that, that's really but nothing. Then after that, you do it. Then after the Final X, you'll have guys that make the team, don't make the team, and then there'll be some international tours to prepare for Worlds and World Team Camp. So that'll be the season, that. So about 3 or 4 tournaments, Because then that's about you want to train about 4 to 6 weeks, compete. So that's where you're at.
And then what is that? 4 to 6 weeks later, you have the Senior World Team Trials in May. May 20th.
Yeah, the Final X. Yeah, yep. That's the Final X. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so they don't call that on USA Wrestling. They just call it.
Well, unless they're doing that second, like last year they did US Open.
Yeah.
If you win the US Open, you sit in the Final X, and the World Team Trials is some sort of challenge tournament.
Right.
And
that's
that'll be
2 out of 3.
And the winner of that goes into the Final X.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then with Final X, I have some of that pulled up here. I actually have the Greco guys pulled up. Let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
So there's a couple we mentioned Max Nowry, 55 kilograms.
Yeah.
He'll be going against Brady Kuntz. Projected. This is projected. So I'm sorry. This is from Intermat.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah. So this is projected. This is kind of things that they're talking about. Now, I don't know the skill. I've seen Brady Kuntz wrestle, obviously. I mean, he's at Ohio State. Watched him compete, folks. I've watched him compete also in Greco. I mean, he's to me one of the best guys coming out of Wisconsin in a long time as far as Greco goes. Now, Max Nowry, I have no experience with. I've never seen him wrestle. How do they contrast in forms? Like how do they wrestle?
I mean, I love the Kuntz boys.
Yep.
I love the Kuntz boys, but you're talking Max Nowry is a man.
Gotcha.
He's like close to 30 years old, maybe over 30.
Okay.
He looks 15. If you see the guy, he's 15.
Sure.
I know Max pretty well. He's got from Illinois.
Yep.
He's really, really good. Like there's a difference.
Okay.
There's a level. There's a level of change. And I'll say this, but Kuntz is right. I mean, Kuntz are getting better. Now, both Kuntz boys transferred to Dubuque with Dennis Hall. The rest of them there now.
Oh, interesting. See, I'm not in the loop of every single thing going on. So when did that happen?
I just found that out as well.
Yeah, when did that happen?
I don't know when. I mean,
beginning is probably right when he went there, because I was going to say that was kind of right when school started. I think when
I would think so. Yeah, because Dennis had that job.
Yep.
There is RTC / women's freestyle coach to try to start. So I heard that Kuntz went there, and then Fritz went to Minnesota Storm.
Oh, okay. All right. Right on.
Straight in there.
Gotcha. Okay. Go ahead.
Which I wonder if Fritz, because Fritz is the Dennis Hall athlete,
Yeah.
They're super close. I wonder if he'll slide on down to Dubuque. I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
Maybe. Who knows? Yeah. So then at 60, Dalton Roberts and Ildar Havazov.
Yeah. Both WCAP athletes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And again, these are just projected from Intermat, and this is on Rockfin. Sammy Jones, I've been watching a little bit of highlights of him. I kind of like that guy.
Kilos, yeah.
63.
Yeah, he's 63 kilos. Yeah, super explosive.
Yeah.
Very charismatic. Really good guy.
They're projecting him against Aiden Nutter.
You can't forget about Jesse Tilke.
Well, they have him. They said we'll operate under the assumption that Jesse Tilke isn't here, but if he's available.
Oh yeah, Jesse does have. I mean, I think everybody's. It's not secret knowledge, but Jesse's he could be close to 30, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah. He's
and in fact, and then I think Sammy. I think he's mid-20s, 5'6" ish.
Okay.
And, but then again, Sammy Jones, if you know how Jesse Tilke wrestles, very explosive.
Yep, correct.
But, Sammy Jones, exact same athlete. They're like carbon copies.
They're very strong. Two very strong wrestlers.
Lift, explosive, high level technique.
What's that?
Jesse Tilke is 30 years old exactly.
30 years old. Good guess.
Yeah, okay, that
well
makes
done.
sense. And he's got a lot of wear and tear.
Nice job.
I mean,
nice job.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm here.
Yeah, I just seen him we talked this week. He's got a lot of wear and tear. So,
right
I mean, you get I don't care what sport you're in. You get to late 20s, man. You're still walking. You're good to go.
Well, and that's I talk to a couple guys, just kind of trying to discuss, well, what do you think you might do after wrestling? All of them are like, well, I'm probably only going to like my 30s or something like that. That's a long time. I mean, that's a
long time, man.
Greco, you're getting tossed around, you're getting thrown a lot. I mean, you're not just competing in it, you're practicing it, and it's like, holy cow, man. So,
I just think like any sport, you get in like 20, your body just starts saying,
yeah,
no matter what sport you're in, it's just tough on whatever you're doing.
Right, exactly. So 72 kilograms, you have, you're familiar with Benji Peak. And
yeah, I heard the kid.
Yeah, they're projecting him versus Pat Smith, possibly.
At 72 kilos, yeah.
Yeah.
He's skipped over 67 though.
Okay. So Benji, obviously we know. I mean, he lets it fly.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt about that. But Pat Smith, I've watched a couple of his matches, but he seems more of a guy that kind of takes his time than anything. So like he's going to be battling.
He is a 100% typical Minnesota athlete. They're going to pummel you to death.
Okay.
Score a 2-point takedown and gut you out.
And what my dad missed 67 kilos.
I didn't miss it. I went past it.
I know. You missed it. 67 kilos.
Yeah.
Do
Alex.
you want to go? Did you want to do that one later or something?
No, I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to go talk about Benji because I like Benji Peak.
Okay, we do that.
Well, you gotta give everyone their moment.
Okay. Then what do you got?
Alex Sancho versus Peyton Omania.
Yeah, Omania. I don't know. Again, I don't know either one of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
Peyton
I can't. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Obviously, Austin Nutter's my boy.
Yeah.
And Alston has fared. I don't think Peyton scored a point on Alston in quite a while.
No.
So, I mean, Peyton Omania is really, really good. I mean, I don't know if they're not under. I don't think this is the thing with who put those out, Rockfin.
Yeah. This so Intermat. These are projections.
Yeah,
Ruffkin.
Yeah, I can't believe that's a Willie Saylor deal. Willie Saylor knows the Nutters pretty well, so I can't believe that. I mean, whatever you can put it, it's all projection. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's no Division I athlete.
Yep.
Gonna beat any of my guys in Greco right now. They're not gonna scratch the ass.
You heard
Right
it
on.
first.
Right? Yeah, you heard it here, man. I'm not going to argue it. I haven't seen,
Well, I mean, he teched him last time pretty quickly.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, and then proof's in the numbers. I mean, it just is.
Yeah,
what it is.
he also here. Alston, Benji's never beaten Peyton, and Alston's never lost to Peyton.
Oh man.
Yeah. So Peyton's good. Peyton's a good guy. I love him. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
So him and Alston are exactly the same type of build and style.
Yeah.
And Sancho is aging. And I'll tell you this: we had him dead to the rice in final action until Alston tore his UCL completely off the bone in that tournament. In that final action.
Ouch.
And so once he tore that, I mean, it was the first match, and we were winning to the last second. Made a bad decision, and next match was kind of like we just wrestled with one arm.
Oh,
in fact, Alston just got back on the mat on Monday wrestling. So. Oh,
that's okay. Yeah. I saw some of the stuff you put out there. That's cool.
Yeah. So he's just getting back. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like my guys, like Nutter, Benji, Peyton, and those guys that me and Bill have worked with over the years.
Yeah.
Those guys are growing, and everybody else is sliding because there's no Division I athlete going to touch my guys coming from folk style wrestling, 1 hour at Greco compared to my guys. And there's nobody in the other that's older that's getting better. So there's no disrespect. It's just they're getting older and slower.
So what I want to put in perspective in a little bit here. And we don't have to do it right now, but I mean, you think about the training that they go through here, that they train to get onto teams. Now, when they get onto the team, now they have a short time to train for the international styles because when I was listening to this on 5 Point Move, that they train for here for these guys, for the American guys, when they wrestle completely different overseas. And now now they got to train for that. We'll touch on that in a little bit because there's the next one.
I want to get 82 down. You can have
we'll get 82. 77 I want to touch on because this is one of my favorite dudes in Greco. It's Kamal Bay.
77 is probably 67 is 77.
Yeah.
And the 82 are probably the toughest weight classes in the world.
I'm taking 82 down. I'm saying all those.
Well, I would just say most human beings weigh in those kind of weight classes.
I suppose, true.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, you're talking football players, baseball players, etc.
Yeah. But I mean, these guys let it fly though. Like Kamal Bay, I mean, he's throwing every single
human highlight reel.
He is a human highlight reel, and then Jesse Porter on top of that. That's going to be a pretty good match right there. I don't know how we're talking for worlds, right? We're talking for worlds. Yeah. Well, no, it's Final X. These are Final X projections.
Final X, yeah. Okay, we'll touch on Olympics. After we talk about this, let's talk about the Olympics in a second. So, there'll be totally different world there.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. So then, Liam, you said you want to talk Spencer Woods.
I want to do the rest of these.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
I like these ones.
Okay.
You got Spencer Woods versus Ryan Epps. Which I think.
Wait, I'm gonna go. Hang on one second. At 77, who they have at 77 meeting now?
That was 77 was Kamal Bay versus Jesse Porter. That's what they have projected. No,
that's not happening.
Why not?
It's gonna be Peyton Jacobson in there. He's gonna be Jesse Porter.
Okay.
Again.
So
beat Jesse Porter.
And I think they put on here. Porter showed the 2020 Olympic trials. You should never underestimate him. He later went on to make his first world team in 2021. But
and then this last year, Peyton took care of him.
Took it to him. All right, so that was 77 kilograms.
My guys will be 67, 72, 77. And 77 will be Peyton Davidson versus Kamal Bay in the finals.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll remember that when the stuff all comes out because we'll talk about it. So 82 kilograms, Liam.
It was Spencer Woods versus Ryan Epps. Yeah. And I'm kind of reading this. I haven't caught up with this in a while. Did Provisor retire, or did he go to no?
He's at the college in a gosh dang it in Iowa school. What the heck? I can't get the name of the school right now. He's at a college right now. Going to school.
Okay,
but he's out.
He's out.
He can't wrestle right now. Oh, that's right. He's out right now. He's out. He can't wrestle right now.
Is he at Laura's?
Why not?
No. He's at it's a Grambling or
Grandview.
Grandview.
Oh, he's with
He's over with Lee.
Yeah,
he's over there with Zach Lee. Yeah. Okay, so that's the 82. I don't know.
He's not gonna be wrestling this year. I think he's on vacation.
So that'll be a good match, and he's on vacation. 87 kilograms.
I think he's an injury or something. I think he's got an injury. He's got an issue. He can't wrestle right now.
Alan,
he's just he's lightly trained. There's a problem. He's got an injury or something going on.
Yeah.
It was, and then 87 kilograms is Alan Vera versus Timothy Young. First of all, Timothy.
Okay,
hopefully he goes by Tim.
We're going back to 82. So it's going to be Spencer Woods and Epstein said?
Yeah.
No.
Who do you think it's going to be?
It's going to be Spencer Woods, and I mean, it could be Epps, but I'll say 82 is going to be, it's like a wild west at 82.
Okay.
I mean, it could be anybody. Huh. But I do pick Spencer Woods to take it.
Okay.
But I don't know. If Epps makes the finals, Epps is good.
Is he?
He's just very limited.
Okay.
But he's just starting Greco. He's a ex-college wrestler, so he's late in life.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm trying to think. There's somebody else in right now. I'm forgetting. I was talking. If I think of the name again, I'll bring it up. But I don't think it'll be Epps. I just don't think. I don't see it. I mean, maybe. I mean, I like the kid. Great kid.
Yeah.
But it'll be because somebody else, like Provisor didn't show up. Landers are in there.
Sure.
But anyways, I don't think it'll be Epps though. But I think Spencer would take the weight class though.
Right on.
As long as Provisor's not there.
Oh, wrestling TV rankings.
But
that's what I looked at.
Alan, 87 kilograms is Alan Vera versus Timothy Young. Again, Timothy.
Look at how low cut these sequences are. Look at the back, bro.
Okay, whoa. Okay, but
what did it say?
That was Jordan Burroughs is popping on all of a sudden out of nowhere on YouTube.
Look, Timothy. Let's hope he doesn't love that name. Let's hope it's more of a
Tim.
Timmy, Big T.
Yeah, again, these guys, I don't know. So this will be interesting if this pops up. But
talking about
it's going to be Alan Vera, but there's a guy from Minnesota Storm.
Yeah,
that'll probably that Vera was beating him last year at the Bill Farrell in Iowa, 7-0, and then the guy locked him and pinned him. So the guy's an older guy.
Yeah,
he's definitely an older athlete.
Okay.
But so is Vera. But the guy's really tough. He's from Minnesota Storm. I don't know his name, but I'm looking at that guy. It'll be Vera. Vera right now is training better than I've ever. I've been around Vera just not a million times, but I've been around enough training where I've never seen the camps I've been through this last camp. I've never seen him train harder. Okay. So I don't think anybody's touching Vera.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter who's at that weight class. Nobody's touching him.
All right, you heard it here. He's picking Vera.
97 kilograms is Braxton Amos versus Luke Sheridan.
Let's go Braxton.
But I've heard of Luke Sheridan.
Who's that? Who's their guy?
Luke Sheridan is their pick to wrestle against Amos at Final X.
Yeah, I know Sheridan pretty well. Nice kid. Yeah, nobody. I love Braxton. He's in a. I hate to see. I want to see. You never tell me he's gonna walk, and you don't want to jinx anybody, but he's a solid bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on team Braxton. He's gonna walk. He's gonna go away at that one. He'll walk away at that one.
Yep. That's. I mean, but looking at Sheridan though too, I mean, he's got pretty decent credentials, like you said, decent kid.
He's tough. The difference I think is you have one person
experience
that it has no disregard for a human or another human's body, and the other one that doesn't have that in them.
That's true. That is, that's a quality that lacks, I think, nowadays in a lot of wrestling. So watching some of the arm bars that are being put in now, it's like to the point to where it almost looks like they're going to snap off. It's just amazing the resilience these guys have.
We have at 130 kilograms Colton Schultz versus Adam Kuhn. I don't think Adam Kuhn does it because he's been training to make the NFL this entire year.
So you think he's out of shape? You don't think he's been working on it?
Yeah, I don't think he's in wrestling shape.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, I don't think he'll have enough time to really get it down.
I don't know. You would know more.
Final X 8th of May.
I still don't
How can I say this? I'm on Team Schultz. I love Colton Schultz.
Yeah.
I hope he gets it done.
I'm going Kuhn then. I'm going Adam Kuhn all the way.
But I'm going to tell you right here, and this is just honesty. It's going to be really hard for any Division I athlete to place at the Worlds after a college season.
Yeah.
It's just their body. I mean, this is where we talk about later. People's got to start using reading skills and science. This isn't 1950 where they wrestled 2, 4, 5 matches and then ran around in circles. Division I wrestling is nothing like it was. I mean, probably since the 90s, it's been pretty intense.
Yeah.
Maybe late 80s. you're just not going to come out of Division One. There's no downtime. If you're a freestyle record athlete coming out of Division One, when do you take your break?
So okay,
when's your downtime?
But,
when's your downtime? I mean, do you think a sprinter sprints his fastest race every freaking weekend? No, like once a year.
Right. But you don't think that that grind that they go through in the season doesn't prep?
Yeah, it's a grind. What happens when you grind two pieces of freaking stone together?
I mean, eventually they wear down. It takes a long.
They wear
time,
down. They
though.
turn to dust.
Long time.
Turn to dust.
But that's why they start it when they're little kids. When they're 5, they start that grind. Then by the time they're 30, they're not quite out. They're not quite burnt out yet, but they got enough to do speaking events. And
I'm going to tell you something right now. There are 0 Division One. I mean, there is that can happen. That's not happen. It doesn't happen that way.
No.
I mean, I don't see. I mean, I watch you guys wrestle. Even watch the freestylers. Like, look at David Terre and all those guys train. They don't train like they train in Division One. They can't.
No, right.
We're out.
You're right. Yeah. Well, and they realize
they can choose 2 comps a year.
Well, even like right now too, just like with high schoolers. I mean, you see even the clubs and stuff take a break during the season because they know that they're practicing in the high school room. They know number one, they know their kids aren't going to show up 5 days a week after they just had high school practice.
I get too much stuff going on.
Right. Too much stuff going on, but at the same time though too, even the guys on a Sunday after a tournament, they're not going to go to practice, like they're going to, cause it's a grind,
Need a day off.
Hard. Yeah, you need a day off. So with that said, that wraps up the final predictions.
I'm going to go with Colton Schultz. But I will say
I'm going Kuhn. I don't care.
If Kuhn wins it, I'll be like, well, I told you. If Colton Schultz wins it, I'm glad. I'm happy.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't win it, I'm saying I told you so. It's because he's going to do it. He's wrestled. Colton just took a couple losses already.
Yeah.
The guys he never should have lost to in college. He's never had a downtime. He hasn't had a day off. He hasn't had a day off of wrestling in how many years?
Yeah, true. Yeah, and Kuhn's kind of messed it up.
And I don't. In that grind, it's called grinding for a reason. You're not going to get it, bro. You're not. It's not going to.
Right.
That grinding that's an excuse for insecure coaches.
And he's just coming off the NCAAs too, like a month after the NCAAs. So that's
I mean, but you have to pick and choose. You can't pick.
Right.
Americans want their cake and eat it too, not get diabetes, and that ain't the way it works.
We're crazy. We're crazy, dude. We're crazy. So that's that. Now, with that being said, as far as any type of, did you bring up rule changes? I thought you brought up rule changes in that text you sent me. Oh, hold on. What do you got, Liam? Hold on. Liam's got something.
And this is freestyle now, but I really wanted to bring this one up.
Okay.
Jordan Burroughs versus Carter Starachi.
When
that's the final X. That would be final X at 79 kilograms.
Carter wins it.
Come on.
I'm picking Carter.
Come on.
I'm picking Carter.
Come on.
It's got to be done.
That's like.
Sorry, Jordan.
That's like saying
he's the Bulls.
That's
GOAT.
like saying the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
The Bulls.
Whatever.
You pick the Jazz over the Bulls when they're in the finals. Come on.
Sometimes you got to know when to say.
Just because Dake won in the Olympic trials does not mean he's done.
But I'm not saying that he's gonna lose handily. It's gonna be a tough match. But I mean, I just don't.
He just lost to an 18-year-old kid from Iran.
Yeah. I don't see.
I don't know.
You get tired. I mean, I'll tell you this much right now. I'm 40. I'm gonna be 44 in like 2 to 8 days or something like that. And I know what it's like to not be able to stand just up from tying your shoes. So.
Well, Jordan Burroughs is past 30 years old. We talk about that grind.
Yeah.
You're not getting faster.
No.
After your 22nd birthday.
Right.
That's why people should read a book. There's a book out there. If I can find it, I'll find it. It's about training. It's about sprinters. It talks about Usain Bolt.
He's 34.
And sprinters, and they're like, hey, Usain Bolt had they predicted through all these mathematical equations. So they rank they actually predicted Jordan Burroughs would medal in like 2 Olympics ago or whatever. They said, well, he's this old, it's blah blah blah, married and kids. That's how they rank chess people in the world. And I forget what they call it. It's some kind of ranking system. Anyway, they talk about Usain Bolt in there, and they're like, yeah, we predicted that he would run his fastest race on these many competitions.
Right.
So he can choose to run his fastest race in the 2020 Olympics or 20 whatever that was, for Olympics, COVID or whatever. But if he chooses to run his fastest race on January 2nd of 2019, he ain't doing it again.
No.
So it was kind of like that. And so I think with Jordan Burroughs, you're not gonna beat science. You're not beating the human body, God designed. You can improve, but dude,
And maybe
we're not living 250 years old. It's just not. It's just he's slowing down.
Not yet. Maybe I pick up.
No, I mean I hope Burrows wins and proves everybody wrong because I'm a Durham Burrows fan. But yeah, I'm with your dad on this one. It's like, well, we got to use some intelligence here. What's the deductive reasoning state?
Wow. Well, but here's the thing though. Maybe I'm doing it too, so I get my brain used to him not winning because when he lost against Dake, I was like, what? It's like when you're like that person
Even Dake's getting. You think about Dake. Dake's younger than Burrows, but Dake's getting older.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I remember
he's got that whole theory of like living naturally. Look, you gotta walk through the woods with your bare feet.
If you listen to a lot of Kyle Dake stuff, is what actually what Kyle Dake is saying is the same thing we're saying in Greco.
Voodoo.
When it comes to like saving your body and stuff like that.
Oh, I remember when Dake beat Burrows. You were behind one of our chairs, and you go, and Burrows was just sitting there, and you go, hang it up. Put the shoes in the middle.
I thought that's what he was thinking about because I was like, oh no, man.
Well, everybody goes through that. I mean, that's why if you want to talk, that's one conversation. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
That's why we use the bypass method. I just think I'm watching high school wrestling right now, and I don't want to talk about high school wrestlers by name because I don't think it's proper to do that. But I'm listening to these high school kids. And they're just crap stuff. They're just taking guys, letting them down. Or they're just out. They're not even sweating. They're not even warming up. They're just crap kicking everybody. And I'm like, why are you even doing this? It shouldn't even be legal to be in high school. And I'm going to tell you something right now. One guy told me, and this person here, anyways, he goes, you got to leave meat in the bone. You don't exhaust the environment that you in and then go to the next level. Like in gymnastics, you have a point range before you test up from 7 to 8 to 9, blah blah blah. They don't wait till you're the best to move you on. They keep pushing you to the next level before you're ready. And so I think in wrestling, I'm watching we're talking about the grind thing. Try not to sleep for 5 days. Do that. Grind for 3 days straight with no time sleeping. Tell me how much tougher you are on the 4th, 5th day.
Right.
And again, people talk about Navy SEAL training. Well, yeah, but they don't live like that their whole life. They do it for like a short
yes.
to weed out the weed.
Correct.
And after they weed out the weed, they go back to living normal.
Yeah.
They don't do that. So I think that's the thing. So I think I think way too many coaches go on. They use the method of the cream rises to the top.
Yep.
And then they just try to overload the athlete pool. And they grind a little bit piss out of them, like whoever's left standing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really poor way, especially with the amount of training and the amount of competition we have nowadays. I think that's a method that could have been used in a country like the communist country.
Yeah.
When you have 1,000 athletes just trying to pull one out. Yeah, okay, yeah, you can do that. But when you have a limited pool of athletes of a high level, you got to really bring the right guy along. So I think with all the Colton Schultz and Jordan Burrows, stuff like that. Colton Schultz is super young, obviously. So yeah,
sure.
We're still talking about I think of Colton Schultz, and I like the kid, love the kids. I've known him since he's been super young. The cadet, been around him a lot, and I'm like, I feel like he needs. I feel like this person I'm way far away looking in here. Like he needs like a severe vacation of off mat, chill out, downgrade, and come back and start over. I mean, I'm just calling from that way. I'll say that now. His sister passed away and had that. I don't think maybe a 10 degree for that. He's been wrestling year round. NCAAs, world team trials, world, blah, blah, blah.
And you wonder if that's a mental part of it, trying to, maybe block something out as far as, with his sister passing away kind of thing. And that's just a way to get through it. A lot of stuff
going on.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
That's hard.
And then you talk about the age. You talk about Burrows. And you talk about other guys, and then you add an age.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of stuff.
It's a hard realization.
I agree with your dad. I think Burrows. I hope that because everybody loved the way he wrestles.
Yep.
The thing about Burrows is that his style has never changed. From my first year in wrestling,
not at all.
And so when I talk about they're like, oh, good, he's a folk style wrestler doing well. I'm like, no, that's where folk style people try to bring up folk style. I'm like, no, he is a freestyle styled athlete in folk style.
Correct.
He's not crab riding.
Right. He'll admit he wasn't great. He wasn't great at folk style. He did doubles his whole entire college career and rode for about 10 seconds. Right.
In fact, his parterre was horrible when he first came on the scene, but he didn't have to because he blew through double. And the only reason he blew through, the only reason he's so successful right away is that the two example one from 1 to 2.
Yeah,
and that kept him in the game because now the 2-point turn and the 2-point cross lock doesn't mean anything because they get 2-point takedown.
He admits to gravitating.
He was the only American when he first came on the scene. He was the only American in freestyle when he first came on that could score a 4-point takedown.
Yeah.
There was no American in the country that could score a 4-point takedown except for Jordan Burroughs when he first came on the scene.
He admitted gravitating
a little
bit more
he's
towards
lost an ability now. He can't score a 4-point takedown now.
Freestyle. So, but yeah. With that, with that being said, as far as the events coming up, so you said that the girls are going to Nice, correct?
Yeah, there's not as many as the boys. The men are sending shoot.
Any of your girls?
A lot. Look it up, a lot. It's on you. You just posted it. The men, I think there's 10 girls going. Not a lot of girls.
Any of your girls?
I mean, that's a lot, maybe.
Any of your girls going?
No, we're all in rehab. We're all in stitches.
So what's the big word on you wanted to talk about some rule changes, and I think you're talking about the selection process for Worlds. I looked at some of, not Worlds, I don't remember which one you're talking about, but I looked at some of that. If I remember correctly, you're talking about the selection process, I think for the maybe the Olympic squad, was it?
No.
What'd you send me?
Selection process.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have they told us they're going to come out with a selection process for Pan Ams, and they have not yet.
Oh,
so right
gotcha.
now currently that was supposed to have been out, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
It was a thing that came out to say next week we're going to ship it out. Well, it didn't come out.
Yeah, U.S. Open.
We can't talk about it.
World Team Trials. Yeah. So then the other thing we were going to actually talk about was the coaching situation.
Coaching, yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to camp. And in me going into camp, everybody that I knew in Greco pretty much assumed that we had Cody Bickley, acting general manager, and we had no developmental coach, no assistant coach, no head coach. But Herb House was kind of filling the gap in the interim of those positions. And so we got to camp. Cheney Hyatt's there and Justin Ruiz is there. Well, so now the solid hire, what's factual right now is Cheney Hyatt is the new developmental coach. So he'll coach any EAP kids that live there. They're they're bypassing high school, living at the OTC training.
Yep.
He'll coach those kids. He'll coach anybody that comes there and needs development. He's the third guy in line. We still do not have a formal assistant coach or head coach.
Okay.
Herb House is still acting kind of in those measures. We did. I got to talk about Barrero in a second.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we have Justin Ruiz they hired as a interim general manager. So Cody Bickley doesn't have to do it anymore because Cody Bickley's he's got a big league job in USA Wrestling, so it's probably just too much for him to handle.
Sure.
But Cody would be great. I mean, general manager Cody would be great for Greco. We need somebody like him.
Yeah.
And so he had Justin Ruiz, but he has his formal job, official job, is the fundraiser guy. He took this to place of Steve Frazier. So he's working, I think, pretty sure in the way I understand it is he is the fundraiser for USA Wrestling. So he fundraised X amount of dollars that's getting dispersed to wherever I donate, let's say, whatever.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, this is for men's freestyle, women's freestyle, men's Greco, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his job to fundraise, and he's acting as interim now in the place of Cody Bickley as general manager of Greco-Roman Wrestling.
Okay.
Now, we talked about the camp, so I can talk about it here. And I talked to Herb and Spencer Mango and everybody there. And I don't know why we're going to have so many coaches. I mean, what do we need? I don't know. We need 4 guys. What do we need 4 guys for? It's like a safety manager for the safety manager of the safety doing safety checks.
You know what I mean?
I don't get it. I mean, it's freestyle. They have, and USA Wrestling's answer, and it's a good answer. It's well, this is what we do for women's freestyle. This is what we do for men's freestyle. This is the system. But I don't know why we need that many coaches for any style. I mean, 99% of the men train at RTCs.
Yeah.
And the women, it's mostly at the RT. It's a little bit RTC and then a little bit OTC, and then the rest are kind of sprinkled around.
Sure.
So I don't know if to me it just seems like, I don't know, redundant positions. But but I'm not in it 100%. I'm not there doing the paperwork.
Yeah.
So maybe there's more paperwork to be done that needs to be,
Could
or
be.
things that need to be.
But does that need to be a coach?
Yeah,
that could just be administrator.
I mean, so general manager's looking over the whole thing.
Yeah.
Didn't he have the developmental coach teaching like developmental skills, wherever that, for younger guys or guys just coming in? Didn't you have the assistant coach that's probably actually running practice, and you have the head coach kind of looking over everything? So I don't understand, like, this. To me, I think it's a 3-coach position. Like, general manager, which is kind of like, I would call that, which to me is a head coach. I mean, it sounds like.
Right.
And then you have the guys on the mat. The guys on the mat. So you have a developmental coach and a coach. It's 3 guys. I don't know why we need 4.
Well, I would say you get the general manager, you get the developmental should be the head coach, because that's the person that should be administrating all the coaching anyways, and then 2 assistants.
Yeah, So 3, 3 guys max. Yeah, right. So I don't know. So with that said, we still don't have the head, and we still don't have the assistant for sure. But I'll be honest with you, I've been to a lot of camps, and this is probably one of the best camps I've been to when I was out there.
Yeah. Who was running it?
Yeah, and they ran training exactly the way me and Zach Dominguez talked about it. Went up front there, good buddy of mine.
Yep.
And Zach Dominguez actually wrote the plan for the camp.
Okay.
And so he sent to me. He's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's exactly what I would do."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Yeah," but I liked this idea, and everybody agreed on it. Was like in the beginning of the week we did a lot of our Terre, and we're doing a lot of defense, a lot of lifting, a lot of throwing, stuff like this.
Yeah.
A lot of a lot of work.
Yep.
A lot of work. A lot of high intensity work. And then we went into bi-locking, a lot of high intensity work, bi-locking, a lot of big move stuff. And then we went into drags and lower level skills, simple skills drags, high dives. And then we went into recovery work, and then they have a day off, obviously, today on Sunday. And then on Monday, Tuesday, they're going to do live matches, and the camp will conclude. So for me, the camp is perfect flow.
Sure.
Perfect flow.
Sure. Okay.
And it's been a long time since I've been at camp where there's been a lot of camaraderie.
Good.
And even when Matt was there, was a lot of camaraderie. But right now, I think with what happened and transpired,
yes,
I think everybody's looking to get back on track.
Yeah.
And so I think everybody's working. It's kind of like sometimes you don't know what you got until you miss it.
Sure.
Yep. So I think that kind of a little bit of the feel of the air, and so everybody's working really good together. And Cheney Hyatt, I had breakfast with it. I'm not gonna drop any names, but I had a breakfast with an athlete out there.
Yep.
And so we went to catch up, and we're talking, and the athlete asked, "What do you think of these two coaches, Justin Ruiz and Cheney Hyatt?" And this athlete's younger.
Yep.
And I'm like, so I got this dude. I said, "These two are the perfect hires for Recco.
Okay.
Humble, no insecurity.
Yeah.
Just
good,
great, like an Andy Beesick, like a typical Midwestern. Like, I hate to say Midwestern because I'm sure people great everywhere,
Right.
But if you say you're from Wisconsin, you're like, oh, you can pull over, somebody's trying to help you. From Minnesota, Iowa, maybe not Iowa, but yeah. But anyways, great human beings.
Good.
Great human beings.
Good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't need. Like as a coach and leadership, you don't need the guy that walked on the moon.
No, right.
You need somebody that is a leader by presence, not by past achievements, because that can be very dangerous.
Right. Sure. Yep. Correct.
In fact, so that's what I think. So they got Barrero there, and Barrero, got here, seeked asylum, ended up Aviators with Klein Schmidt, kind of helped them out, and then. I talked to Lenny about the whole deal and blah, blah, blah. So then start trying to figure out like what to do with this guy. Cause he's a great asset,
Sure.
Because he's 30. He'll never wrestle for us because the way the rules are, for getting citizenship or whatever. It was just take too long. It like 5 to 8 years or something. So by the time that happens, it'll be, 35, 30. He's just,
too old.
But we got to get these Cubans coming over seeking asylum in the circle with our boys wrestling. That's what we need, like you said, grind, iron sharpens iron, grind.
Yep.
With the terminologies that's kind of the methodology there.
Yep.
So they had him out there, and Matt Lindland. So let's talk about Matt Lindland for a second. So Matt Lindland was there, and he left, and he had a house there.
Yep.
Right in Colorado.
Yep.
And I saw us near the Lim Train Center. I assumed he had sold it, went back to Oregon, and I know Matt pretty well. We talk good enough. And I never thought about asking about it. Well, Barrero in Colorado, it's like super. Like the price of housing is whatever.
It's out of hand.
And so,
I said it's out of hand.
It's out of hand.
Yeah.
So Matt Lindland offered up the house that he had moved out of, moved back to Oregon for Barrero to live in. And I'm sure he's charging rent, and I know there's 2 people sponsoring him, 2 companies sponsoring him to stay in there and live and there and coach. And I think US Wrestling give. I think Grumbling's already trying to get him a job there, like an actual titled coach. You know? Maybe he'll be the assistant coach.
Okay,
maybe he'll be the assistant coach. And traditionally, over the years, that's kind of been the system. The head coach has been an American. There's never been a general manager until last winter. They made that position up.
Right.
So that's a new deal. And then they've had the assistant coach who used to be a foreigner. Okay. And then they have a developmental coach. Yep. They've always had that. So the general manager is a new position. Mm-hmm. So if he becomes if they hire Barrero as the assistant coach, I could see it happening. That'll be a nice, because he can still train with the guy, like physically wrestle. Yeah. You know. Well. Yeah. We can talk about that for a second. Like 5 seconds here. You look at the Cubans coming over. Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. But we could talk about Cubans come over here, girls, guys, freestyle, Greco, women's freestyle.
Is there a benefit, or what's the deal? Why is this such a big deal?
What do you mean?
Well, because as far as the Cubans specifically, like, has this been a trend or something? Like, what's the
I don't know if it's been a trend. I'm just aware of it lately. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, sometimes you find out, it's like, yeah. So with that said, is the secret asylum here, and but then the government, we're not going to talk about politics, but the government, the people in charge of the government have just changed that rule. Yeah. So everybody that's into that pay attention to politics are like, oh, we're going to open the border. That's not the case. They just changed the rule. There's no more secret asylum. I mean, so it's a whole different ball of wax. Now, I talked to all these guys. Wow. And they are not very happy about the new rules. Okay. So with that said the Cubans are coming over here, and what I want to talk about them is, like, they're 30, 28, 30, 32. Mm-hmm. And if you look at them, they look like they're 24 years old. Their bodies and the way they move. They don't move like they've wrestled 4 years of Division I college wrestling, at the crap beat out of them, because just the way they're developed.
Well, they
just don't have that ability. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, if you think about it,
they don't have that environment.
They don't. Yeah, right. They don't have the environment. Maybe the competitions aren't as many as we have around here, or maybe the rest of the world. But also demographics. They probably have 2 competitions. I bet you a Cuban athlete wrestles 3 competitions a year. Let's look at their demographics, how they eat. I mean, that's a whole other discussion to have. I mean,
you know what they eat over there?
What?
You know what they eat in Cuba?
McDonald's.
Beans and rice.
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's a whole different world.
Like when Liam there's complaining about something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you think you got it bad? You think you got it bad?
So
you got it bad. You think you're hungry now?
Yeah.
You think you're hungry?
Send you to
I'll tell you a quick story for Gulan. I was rooming with a guy. Yeah. And he was telling me stuff, and he's like, hey, I know right now. He's like, I'll call him right now. He's an Olympic champion from Cuba, still living in Cuba. And his wife had passed away, or his wife's had passed away. And he's got a daughter. The daughter's, I think, not a teenager, but getting to a teenager. And he goes, I talked to him. We're talking about the whole deal. And he's telling me all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, I just talked to this guy. And he goes, like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm looking for food. He spent his whole day from like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning in line at a grocery store to get some chicken. And that was this whole day was like being a hunter and gatherer trying to find food for his daughter. And this is an Olympic champion from a communist country, and he is starving. It is pretty much.
I looked it up. Yep. I said, what do Cubans usually eat in a day? Yeah. And it says, in Cuba, rice and beans offer a sustenance and comfort as a side dish to almost every meal. It's typically prepared as black beans and white rice in hearty portions. Some dishes require other ingredients like arroz con pollo, or rice with chicken. Plantains,
beans, and chicken
are another Cuban staple.
Holy
yeah. Well, you know what? They have zero beef products. They don't have one cat. There's not one head of cattle in Cuba.
What? Goats?
Yeah, I was talking to the guys. You can't get beef in Cuba.
Sheep, goats.
Hold on. Now I'm gonna look this up again.
We'll keep talking. Yeah.
So I was talking to the guys when they're training at the Olympic Training Center there, like their training camps. All they get is beans and rice.
Beans and rice. That's crazy. I can barely handle beans.
They're built like brick shit houses.
I believe it. Well, then so that's the thing though too. Is like it's not just wrestling. Look at soccer. I mean, these guys playing soccer coming from they make a ball out of literally goat bladders. I mean, they're not we're not talking about guys that can run down to Dunham Sports and go grab a soccer ball somewhere. You know,
they don't have shoes. They don't have shoes.
Right.
Guess what the most popular sport in Cuba is?
Baseball. Soccer.
Yeah, it is baseball. Yeah.
So
I forgot when I was talking. I'm sorry, Liam. Yeah. When I was talking to those guys, I'm like, I thought it was soccer. You know, but like, no, baseball.
No, look how many baseball players in the MLB that are Cuban.
I just never thought about it until you said it. I'm like, oh yeah, baseball. What are you going to say?
So, Cubans, the supply is scarce. It is still expensive, but Cubans do not give up. Even if beef has not been sold freely for decades, in 2010, according to official figures, there were 3.9 million cattle. In Cuba.
And they don't eat beef.
According to...
That was 2010, though. That was 12 years ago. They probably ate them all.
All the cattle, they're dairy cattle. There's no
that's
beef.
It?
It's dairy. So I asked them, he goes, there's all dairy for cheese and milk.
Is that a religion thing? Is that something with that?
I don't think so, because I think they were talking just... It sounded like more like how about starving, you know? So they were telling me what they do there in Cuba is they have all these grocery stores.
Yeah.
And they'll say, okay, this grocery store is going to have chicken. This grocery store is going to have whatever. Blah, blah. And you get in line at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my God.
And you wait in line the whole thing. He says normally you eat 1 or 2 times a day.
What? Well, I mean, twice. Twice I can get down with. Once, no. Can't do once.
The stories they were telling me. The stories they were telling me, and I was like, answer this question. It just blew me away.
Yeah.
What year did Cuba get internet?
Oh, jeez.
Hold on.
2000.
Don't Google it. You can't Google.
2017.
2015.
2015. Let's see.
Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
I mean, I thought I was an old.
No, hold on.
You know
No. History. In September of 1996, Cuba's first connection to the internet.
96.
Not to the public, though. Not to the public.
That was just their first connection.
Yeah, that was their.
Yeah. Nobody had cell phones. It says none of these. In 2015, you go down there. There was no. Before that, it was illegal to have internet or something like that.
Yeah, it's probably just the government that had it at that point where they could watch everybody.
Yeah. They were telling me they didn't know what was going on.
So what's the deal with the defecting? Why? Because I don't pay attention to current events as much. So what's with the defecting so much from Cuba? Is it obviously their president?
Well, they always have been. I mean,
have they?
Dude, did they come over? Have you ever seen those videos? Like they built boats to come over. It's only 90 miles between Florida and Cuba.
Tires
or something.
Riding on tires and stuff like that from Haiti.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing it for decades.
Yeah,
come on.
I suppose
there's nothing there.
It's the same thing still. I thought maybe it got a little better somewhere.
No. I'm talking to those guys, and it's worse than ever.
Oh my God, man. Well, so with Barrero, is Barrero back and forth? Is he here and there? Or is he just living out there now? You said he's renting that place.
No. Them dudes, they never going back to Cuba.
No. I'm talking about, but here, the Wisconsin, because you said he was at Aviators.
No, he's there. He's there permanently.
Okay, all right. So
Matt Lindland had a house there empty.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yep.
He doesn't want to sell it because he's like, well, I'm going to wait a little longer to cash this baby out, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's actually walking distance from the OTC.
Oh wow.
So I didn't know, you know. I knew that. I mean, I didn't know he didn't sell it. I knew he had a house and where it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had sell. And then I'm like, where's he living? And they're like, oh, he's in Matt Lindland's. I'm like, Matt Lindland's? I mean, you know, laughing. He's letting guys. I just thought it was gonna.
Yeah.
But that goes. I mean, talk about Matt Lindland for 1 second. That's Matt Lindland is like.
He's pretty smart, dude.
You will meet very few people as good as Matt Lindland.
So why don't you let a guy like that just control it?
I have not met a better clinician.
Yeah.
I've never met a better clinician, a more organized clinician. I haven't met somebody more well-read and just like humble to what he was as an athlete.
Right.
You remember, this guy took a silver in the Olympics and the Worlds.
Really?
And he was coming out the Blue River. This dude was coming out he gave me I was the only camp he did.
Yeah.
In his whole country because I called him up because I called Scott Cleveland and said, "Hey,
with
I
kids,
get this is when I started a full-time Greco thing. Trying to do this thing. I'm trying to do this thing. I'm trying to figure it out." And so he goes, Matt Lynn. And Matt Lynn's like, 100% support you. He came out for free.
Whoa!
You know,
what?
for the first couple of years, I'll help you. Blah blah blah. And then I started making and then the camp went over so well.
Yeah,
I gotta pay you. I paid his airport.
Right.
And I wanted to keep him coming. But yeah, so he gave this house and he's letting these guys stay there. Where I think I just think he's a real good person for what had happened and everything, and he's still supporting Greco. Like he's still helping out.
Yeah, right.
Like he's still.
Yep.
And people don't know, but he's really helping out Greco still. But he's doing it from the confines of the shadows.
Sure.
Yep. And he's letting Barrero stay there, and I think there's people paying him rent. I think paying away because I do know there's two sponsors, two companies sponsoring it.
Right.
Because you got to pay for the heat and stuff or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, so I'm just like in Ruiz, in Cheney, again, in Greco, Cheney's always been in the talk, and so is Ruiz for a long time, but Hires trying to get him.
Yeah.
But man, them are two great human beings.
Yeah.
And right now, Herb House, I honestly think with who we have, what we're doing right now is great. Unfortunately, I didn't know this till actually the last day I was talking to Ruiz and them guys, listening to them talk, and they're like, yeah, he's just interim. So still trying to fill that general manager position with somebody more permanent.
Okay.
And the assistant coach, I think, is going to go to. I think the assistant coach is going to go Barrero. And I think, and they're going to re-up. They're going to reopen. You'll see probably this week, I guess, maybe next week.
Yep.
Advertising for the head coaching position again.
Oh, really?
They're going to do that. Yeah, they want it filled now. I thought they're going to wait on it. They're like, no, we want it filled now. And it sounds like Herb. I talked to her quite a bit. He's like, I like doing. He likes being like he's a donator. He's a worker, but he doesn't want to be the guy doing what he do. I feel like he wants to hand this off quickly, because he's humongous business he runs. And so he's, I think going to do so much. And then, so we're going to open that back up. And they were talking about some people. Some names came across the desk where they want to hire. And they're talking to people.
Did my name come across or no?
Yeah, right away.
Right away? That was the first one?
Right away. They're like, those guys.
I thought about.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought about applying for it.
I'm like, you're not getting less than $250,000. You're like, dang it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, it's worth the time, and I already know the people that put in place of certain things, because why put my brain in charge when there's so many others like you? You should apply for the job.
I'll tell you right now. So here's the one reason I had this meeting with a couple people there, breakfast, and they're like, why didn't so there's 3 people that didn't apply. One person applied.
You did not,
and the other person didn't apply.
Yep.
And I didn't apply for any of the jobs, and I'll tell you why. But we all talked, and we all said the same thing. And why Deserville didn't accept the jobs, and why I told these athletes I'm not going to apply, and not for a long time, is one, the number one reason is this, is if you are a coach for USA Wrestling, you are a coach for USA Wrestling, all athletes. And I really enjoy, my passion is the personal coaching side with the relationship with the athlete. Even like, I don't run a humongous club. I like to coach. I like the relationship.
You do.
I love the fighting. I love the arguments. I love the winning. I love the highs and lows.
Yep.
Yeah. I just love that personal relationship, and then the crafting the athlete and all this stuff. And all
development.
That stuff.
Yep.
I love that stuff.
Yep.
I love that stuff. And then, so like, I wouldn't be able to coach Alston. I wouldn't be able to coach like the girls. I wouldn't be able to coach the girls, especially because it's freestyle. If you're the Greco coach, you wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to corner Alston and be one-on-one with them and, go through our private stuff in private. There'd be a lot of things I couldn't do that as a coach.
Plus what you do now too.
It would be it'd be really conflict of interest, right?
Yeah.
You're coaching the whole team and here you're coaching one guy on the side. That's kind of really shitty.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. That's number 2 reason is I'm like 47. And not that I'm a spring chicken, obviously, but I have kids. I have concerns with my daughter and my son yet coming up.
Yeah.
I still have things I want to do with them.
Yeah.
I have a business. I mean, you're in your 40s. I feel like I'm 20. My brain feels young. My
totally.
Feels 100.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I still got a lot of stuff I want to do. I don't know I can do the things I want to do right now with that kind of job.
Yeah.
Recreationally, fishing, hunting, all this kind of stuff.
I gotcha.
Plus, I have obligations here.
Yep.
So I think, me and our 2 coaches talked, and they had the exact same sentiment and why they turned it down.
Sure.
And why the other guys didn't apply.
That makes sense.
And I think like when you're 60 or in retirement, if I was fresh out of college, great interim job to get, right?
Yep.
Or when you're later in life, I think.
Yep.
There are like Cheney Hyde taking the job, and there are 2 people, a couple people I think are going to take the head coaching job or apply.
Yep.
But looking at it, they need something. Like, they need something. They don't have anything going on.
Sure.
And they need something to do.
Well,
so yeah. And I think the people I talked to that got offered it and they turned it down, they just like, right now is just not the right time. It's a timing issue.
Right. Yeah. So, it makes sense. And that's, just like talking about Burrows and the retirement thing. Maybe it just doesn't feel right to him. It's one of those, it's your call. It's your sport. It's your thing. So you got to feel comfortable in what you're doing. Well, and that's a big life decision. Because like you said, you got to move out there.
Yeah. Here's what I mean. If the price was unlimited, it still would be, honestly, for me, it's not even the money. It's more about like, literally, for me, number one thing. And the other two coaches I talked to, they all said the exact same thing. Goes, I don't want to lose relationship with them. Because all they asked, we're talking about, like, say, in our mid-20s.
Sure.
And, like, we still have, like, 6-7 years. We have 2 quads left of these athletes.
Yeah.
I would feel horrible if that wrecked their career. Or I just don't think, I don't feel like that. I just don't feel like that kind of style coach right now.
Yeah.
I think I really love the intricacy on, the relationship right now. They all did the same thing.
There's a lot of bullshit that comes with that stuff, though, too, that you don't have to deal with when like you said, you're doing your thing, and then you got to jump into a political world. That's really what you're jumping into once you get into USA Wrestling.
That's actually probably the biggest one, probably, if you had talked to all the guys.
Right. It's you don't have to deal with that right now. And there's coaches too that were high school coaches that are now just coach club, that they would much rather just have club than dealing with even the high school level too. Because it's pain in the
funny
ass.
You say that. Yeah. A while ago, I had a Facebook post. I'm like, there's a guy that became it was a wrestler, college wrestler, graduated college, going to be a teacher.
Yep.
And he's a teacher, but he's coaching private club.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, shouldn't you be coaching high school? And he's like, bro, I get fired from teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get caught. Private club, either way. And I'm like, I'm like, oh, so I put it on Facebook, like, hey, what's up? Feel about this? Like, I got so many dudes light me. They didn't really light me up. They're like, DM me, like, you don't understand. I'm like, no, I understand. I was in the public sector. That's why I'm so against. That's why I'm so anti-public. And I'm like, I just thought, if you're a school teacher, you're in the public sector. So I thought you were into that flow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I had people from all the countries like, no, I'd never go back. I coached in high school, never go back to high school. Blah 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 blah.
Nope.
Yeah, you're right.
Pain in the ass.
It wasn't the coaching. It was just the environment, the oversight.
Correct. It's just a lot of ins and outs that are just way more complicated. You can make your own route, like you said. You're doing your thing as far as what makes you happy with your athletes, and it's just a wild change going into, I guess, what you'd say privatized wrestling. Because there's a lot of opinions.
I think too is like you get to pick. Like I think in high school too, you just can't. Like you can't pick and choose your athletes.
Right. Correct. Exactly. Yeah. You definitely can't. But
so there was another thing I want to talk about. There was their thing. I want to talk about the D1 thing with Braxton brought up. I probably talk about that a little bit. But to talk about the whole team thing, like so right now the seniors are going to their training camp. They're going to go to Croatia.
Yep.
Some guys are going to compete and train. Some guys are just going to train. Like right now, Wednesday. So like with the cadets and juniors right now, I'm taking my guys, some of our guys, to Sweden on Sunday. On Wednesday, we leave Wednesday, and we'll compete next weekend and train for a week. And I come home and I'm leaving my boys in Sweden to train for another week. So I'll be there for a couple weeks training.
Yeah.
Alston's going with us. Alston Nutter's leaving. I think he gets started day before us.
Yep.
And so we got Alston training with an athlete over there named Nicholas Oland, which is really, really good. It's 7 kilos. And we just found out today, Alston's going to be training and like staying with his arch enemy from Russia. This Russian kid beat him. Which is great. This Russian kid beat him. In the semifinals of the Worlds when he took a bronze.
Okay.
And so he defected or moved or got. You don't believe this. A lot of times in Greco and freestyle, athletes are kind of like traded to other countries. So this kid's now wrestling for Bulgaria.
Really? Yeah. How does that happen?
This kid's now wrestling for Bulgaria. And so he's coming to Sweden and train. So he'll be able to train with Nicholas and this Russian kid or Bulgarian kid now. And then we'll all be there training together. So I'm really excited about that.
How does that happen? How does this trading happen? Like, what is...
Like
so here, I understand, like, Micic wrestled at Michigan, but he was from... Is it Serbia?
Yeah.
He's from there, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's here going to school. So, but what's this? How does this trading happen? What is that all about?
Well, like, I don't know how it works in the United States. Like, you just can't come to the United States and wrestle for the United States.
Right.
Citizen and all this stuff, blah, blah. In other countries, you can just, like, show up on money and wrestle for them.
What?
Yeah, like Polish champions. Dude, I've heard stories in Greco.
Shit.
I mean, these are all stories, right?
Yeah, right.
These are on the Barstool stories.
Yep.
So I was in Poland one year with my guys in Greco.
Yep.
And the coach was telling me that a Polish Greco athlete couldn't beat the guy out, or could beat the guy. It's like the good old Division I, all the best guys on the bench because coach won't give him a shot kind of thing, you know.
You go in the transfer portal.
So he was telling me that kind of story. Like, hey, we have a guy really good at this weight class for seniors, but the coach is like this guy, so they're not going to let him wrestle. So this other guy moved to like Armenia to wrestle for Armenia or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he got shot. They shot him. Yeah. I mean, they might have shot him for other reasons, but he happened to be the Greco guy that, you know, beat the guy from. Huh?
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
No.
So, but it's like, you know, I've heard this. I hear these stories all the time. Like, you know, guys, like there was this kid that was that I knew from real young on.
Yeah.
That was wrestling from Bulgaria. That now, no, he was it Bulgaria? It was a Russian province. It wasn't Bulgaria. I can't right now. It wasn't Bulgaria.
Yeah.
It was another country. Anyways, I can't right now. But anyways, he went to Italy and wrestled for Italy and won a bronze for them the next year. So 1 year he's at World Wrestling Cadets, wrestling for whatever country. But
yeah.
Had an issue. His dad, I think his dad gave me a bottle of wine. I think he was in the old mafioso.
Oh,
and
my God.
His mom walked in with the old fur coat, gold rings. I'm like,
oh man,
yeah, you're not a tobacco farmer.
Here we go.
And then he's at Italy wrestling next year at World's Big Bronze for them there. I'm like, and the whole crowd was against him. It was crazy.
Holy, so you can just write a coach and be like, hey, I'm not going to wrestle here. Can I come wrestle with you? And they're like, yeah, come on. You'll be in the starting spot because you'll win it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, you know, Italy. Look like Italy. Most of Italy Italians team is not Italian athletes.
That's crazy.
They're from Cuba and other countries. Well, I asked them, why do you guys keep buying our athletes? You know, they whatever, you know, they buy them or they get whatever you want to call it. They recruit them and give them money.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, we just don't. We like. He literally said to me, it was kind of weird. It's like we genetically can't produce these good of athletes. I'm like, well, I don't know if that's the way it is, but they're like, so they just would buy. I think what they're doing is priming the pump. I'll be honest with you. It's like, you know, they're bringing in.
Right. It's like a Jurassic Park like laboratory where they got like syringes making athletes in.
Yeah. Well, I think what they're doing, things like, you know, the high school program, you recruit a couple guys in to up the value of the room, and everybody else acclimates. If you bring like four studs into a high school, everybody in the room's gonna get better.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Correct.
I'm not sure the studs getting better, but yeah, that's what's going to enter. But yeah, so it's just kind of like, so we have the guys. So we're going to be there training in Sweden.
Yep.
I'm coming home because I have to actually pay a mortgage and stay married and not be, you know,
whatever.
Yeah.
Lies.
Yeah. And then we go back at the OTC in March and train some more.
Yeah.
Then we go to Thor Masters. I'll be in Thor Masters, and then my boys will go to Romania.
Yep.
And then Denmark, the Thors, just to train.
Yep.
They come. I'll be back in country in March. And then them boys return back to Blue River the two Saturdays before the U.S. Open.
Okay.
And then we have to do so. Typically, how our system works is the beginning of the year we do a lot of like Western block, let's say like southern Sweden stuff.
Yep.
Stuff like that, kosher, real Americanized type stuff. As the year goes on, we get deeper and more north into Sweden, like the Suns where we're going.
Yeah.
And that Haparanda Cup, stuff like that.
Yep.
And then we go to Croatia, and then Denmark. We go to the Thor Masters in Hungary, and more Eastern Bloc stuff like Moldova and Romania.
Real deep.
And then and so we want to be overseas about a total of about 6 weeks between January and the U.S. Open.
Okay.
And nothing less, and maybe 2 weeks more, depending on how that could work out, but nothing really less than that. And we want to be back no sooner than 2 weeks before the U.S. Open. Like, I don't want my guys coming back the week before, which will be fine.
Yeah.
But I like them back 2 Saturdays before, so we have a week to digress and a week to prepare for U.S. Open and go to U.S. Open for World Team Trials and qualification for the Final X. Okay. The problem with coming back, let's say, at the end of March and spending a month in the United States is you instantly start to regress after about 2 weeks into a slower, less skilled Greco.
Okay.
And so, you know, so you can really see the difference. Like last year we did that. We did really well at the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Really well. And we're trying to repeat that process. In the years we weren't able to do this for COVID and other reasons, we just set up. We're normal like everybody else. So we had no major advantages.
Right on. Okay. Yeah. Well, so with anything being, so you said you got some kids that are wrapped up, that get stitched up, stuff like that. Who's on the injury list right now?
Well, Austin just got back from UCL. He's good. I mean, he's recovered 100%. He's actually really nice. Actually, did his new surgery on that. It's not Tommy John's. It's a new surgery to do.
Yep.
And it's worked out great. He said it's stronger than ever.
Good.
Yeah, so it's like good surgery. I'm happy with it. It's half the recovery, like 4 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Benji has MRI, shoulder issues, always has had surgery. You know, he's gonna be questionable. I think he's gonna keep doing PT on it though. Personally,
yeah. That's been since high school.
He's kind of like me. He's kind of anti. Benji's more like me. Like I don't like getting cut up. I just kind of like every time I've had a surgery, I feel like I've been worse off.
Sure.
ACL, neck, stomach, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So. And then we have my girls. I have my daughter had just his labrum surgery, still recovering.
Okay.
I got a space autostic girl, hip and labrum surgery. And then Hannah Eartham was just ACL. And Hannah just started drilling. And so she should be back, I think, 100% by the beginning of April.
Yeah.
And then Faith and Avery probably by the end of April. So we're gonna skip World Team Trials this year with those girls.
So you need to tell all those guys that they need to get on the show too. So like I want to talk to Alston, I want to talk to Hannah, I want to talk to. So it's for sure. Then we'll just do a nice like big Greco week or something like that. But
yeah.
And then but so what else? Anything special you have coming up at your facility? Any camps?
No, I have a camp come up in March. If I could push that real quick, free plug in there. I do have a camp coming up in March. Yep. I have about 15 spots open out of 20.
Okay.
It's March 17th, 18th, 19th.
Okay.
We run it every year.
Yep.
Matt Lindley may come in. Not going to talk to him yet.
Yep. I
didn't really want to bother him. I didn't know what he was feeling for coaching this year a whole lot. So right now we're going to run it as normal without obviously running it. It'll be intense, but it'll be like a World Team preparation camp. Okay. Even though it's kind of far out from World Team Trials for cadets, juniors,
Yeah, I got to scope that out too. I haven't even really looked at that for you yet. World Team Trials.
So I'll get that. Get your. I think I just got we're talking. I got a message that South Point's already sold out. I reserved 4 rooms before they even announced it the other day. So.
I guess I didn't know.
Yeah,
again, I thought. I've fallen off the list so much as far as just paying attention when he goes on for freestyle and Greco. Like the year before that, I think I paid attention real late too. So it's like everything I got to plan through work. And just looking at the dates the other day, I was like, shit, I gotta put in for these days. We got Fargo, we got World Team Trials. There's all kinds of stuff coming up. It's crazy. So,
he's cadet still, right?
U17.
Cadet, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know why they changed the name of it, but yeah.
2008 to 2006, I think, is the age group.
Yeah, U17 cadet. So he'll wrestle. He's wrestling freestyle, obviously.
Yep.
So I mean, honestly, a lot of my athletes, not last year, I don't have a lot of athletes. Most of the families like doing Airbnbs. It's cheaper.
Way, and that's the biggest thing too. So I mean, the car that we have was purchased the reason for traveling, and we've discovered the Airbnb has been way more like effective as far as finding some place that's affordable, the amount of time, the dates that you need on top of that. So that's definitely the route we're going to be going, but cool.
And for food, like, the tournament, you got to have food and prepared.
Right.
A lot easier in a house than it is an apartment or not apartment, a hotel room.
Yep.
So what's going on there? But I'm going to touch on Braxton Amos real quick. So Brady had Braxton on.
Yeah.
And that son of a bitch, he goes, that son of a bitch, he goes, I took a history class. Remember that? You asked the question?
Yeah, it was something in the 90s.
He goes, yeah, Brad, whatever. And I think was Liam on?
Liam was here too. Yeah.
He's like, I did a history class in 80s, 90s culture. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. History class.
I'm sitting right here. I could teach you everything you need to know, man, for free.
Yeah, we should be professors.
Yeah, by now, exactly. So from sports to fashion to video games to what was on TV at the time. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what, we could have I could have my wife come down. She's a history major. We could run through the whole thing with them. Be like, cancel that class and wrestle more.
When he said that, I was like, wait, stop. You paid for a history class at Madison, Wisconsin. Can you imagine me like, what are you teaching? Well, I teach 80s and 90s history. Are you shitting me?
Oh, you mean at Fox Valley Tech, right? No, I'm at UW-Madison. What? Wait a minute.
What? I know he said it. He said it like he was being super nice. He was like, "Oh yeah, way to call me an old bastard,"
Liam used to say, Liam used to say, he goes, this video is from the 1900s and it was like 1997 or 98. You little bastard. I'm going to punch you right now in the face. I'm not a fossil.
You're old.
I got you.
You are.
We were not serious. It's like, They're like, I don't let kids think crap about that too. When he said that though, the thing was so funny. He was like dead serious proud.
He did, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's taking it. He's like, yeah, I'm learning about the culture back in the 80s and 90s. It was like, I said, wear some baggy pants. I'll teach you how to roll them up, and then we'll make sure you got a flannel. Yeah, no, yeah, it's all good. Like, he was a good dude. It was fun. I've never been
so disrespected.
And I took it. I was like, all right, that sounds great. Like you don't know what the 90s are. That's cool. You could just Google it.
Oh my gosh, it was weird. But it was funny is like a lot of those people, like if you look back at some of the stuff that comes on now, it's like just being reinvented.
It's
like,
all it is.
Style, music.
Mom jeans are back, dude. You know those long butted mom jeans that come up to like their rib kit, their like third and fourth rib cage.
Normal again.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for like these guys tuck their pants in their socks, but like I'm gonna show them how to roll their pants pretty soon. They don't even need their socks.
Pegging them. That was the thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
When I moved from Milwaukee, Mech went out to Riverdale. I walked in with my pants pegged.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a smart thing. That wasn't a good choice.
So then the hairstyle.
90s, I was like, yeah, I had my hair slicked back.
Yep.
I was like 94.5 pounds.
Ooh,
you know, eighth grade freshman year.
Just a battler.
Dude, I think I'm just why I'm such an a-hole sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like trauma from all the bullying I put up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, getting pushed around, thrown around.
My God.
Nothing you could do about it either. If I could go
back and just beat the crap out of some of those guys, I totally would.
I'd handle them now, that's for sure. But
oh yeah.
Well,
but no, Braxton had brought up wrestling and Division I athletes in Greco.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell you, since he's 100% right, like. When we had our best teams and all that stuff, we had Division I athletes, wrestling Greco.
Yep.
But we have to step back and look at it. If there's only one system, of course that's all we fucking had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
There was no other choice.
Nope. You have nothing else.
There was no other choice. Even Matt Linland. If you talk to all those guys that wrestled, they're like, I was 28 years old and 13-year-olds in Sweden were teaching me Greco-Roman moves.
Right.
Dennis Hall talks about, like, we didn't know what the hell we're doing. We're just trying to figure shit out. Right? About the guys in the United States figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
And they're in their late 20s. Right? So, yes, he's 100% right. Our best teams had D1 athletes.
Yeah.
Because that's all the fucking choice we had.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I know he means good. I 100% agree with him. He's right 100%.
Right.
But it's a very poor fact or thing to use, because that's like saying all stoplights are red.
Bad analogy to it's
well, yeah. Well, it's like, well, all stoplights are red, they work really good. Well, fuck yeah, because all stoplights are fucking around across the fucking world. You know what I mean?
Correct.
It's not green in fucking Europe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
They're all fucking red.
Yep.
So it's just a bad analogy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and he says Division I athletes, and he's a Division I athlete, he's called Joseph Division I athlete. And there was no bigger. I mean, I know when I talked to Matt, he's like, "Hey, bypass." He's on my idea of bypassing.
Yep.
But if you talk to Colton Schultz and you talk to Braxton Amos and you talk to Peyton O'Mania and you talk to I can just go down the list of Division I athletes in Greco that are Greco actively in Greco.
Yep.
They all supported Matt Linland, and Matt Linland supported those guys beyond belief.
Sure. Yep.
Matt Linland took them overseas to Croatia. I was there. I was doing these things with Matt and doing these things.
Yep.
So even though we were still pushing the bypass route, we were still servicing the folk style Greco athlete in Division I, II, and III college with the bypass guys.
Yep.
But so people, all they want to hear, it's like, it's like they say, like, okay, you do everything. Like, I'm sure Liam sees this in practice in high school. He's looking awesome in practice, and he fucks up one time and gets bitched out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at house, like everything's going good. You fucking drops one piece of center on the ground, he bitch him up.
Yeah.
It's only the negative that gets recognized, So when we're pushing this bypass route, people are like, oh, this is all we ever had. We got to stick that. Yeah, but we have to look back. Was that good?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't good. If it was so fucking good, we wouldn't be thinking about bypass.
Right.
I wish folks out wrestling make Greco-Roman wrestler, because we would be fucking awesome.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not, because we're not fucking awesome. And
it's true. It's true.
It's not lying. So in our athletes, it's just like here, cheerleaders don't become gymnasts. Gymnasts become cheerleaders.
Right.
And in folk style and freestyle land, only in the United States, nowhere else in the world is this accepted. Every other country in the world accepts that it should go gymnastics, Greco-Roman wrestling, and then freestyle wrestling. In that order, not the other way around.
Yeah.
You cannot digress into Greco. Like the skills in Greco, that's like saying doing a cartwheel is more complicated than doing a backflip on a balance beam. No, it's the cartwheel and tumbling are lower grade skills. So in folk style, the skill set is what's way to say freestyle, gymnastics up to Greco, Greco up to freestyle, freestyle up to folk style. It is not the other way around. There's not a single thing in Greco or in freestyle that helps your Greco. Because everything you do in Greco, you can do in freestyle. Everything you do in freestyle, you can do in folk style.
This might be where that one guy called that one guy that said he doesn't like you. This is maybe where his theory comes from. Is how
well, it could be that. I mean, I think that person's view is that I just don't think he's educated in Greco-Roman wrestling.
Oh, totally.
But it's also
totally,
like saying, I just don't think he's educated in Greco-Roman wrestling, or he doesn't like my ideas. It could be all kinds of reasons. It doesn't really matter. There's other people from that same facility.
Yep.
I just had an interaction on Twitter with them. He's like, "Hey, Bob, how can't blah blah." And one of the so it's not the club. It's just that individual.
It's him. That's all. It's just him.
So and in fact, when you told me the other image you had on, said, "Hey, we just don't think Greco helps you in folk style." So hey, nobody is like here. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's his business model. Nobody's fault. Just don't come over here and just say, don't do that. If you can sit there, like there's coaching the kid and saying, hey, this is what we do.
Yeah.
This is our method. 100% support that club and make the clientele choose.
Right.
Yep. But so when it comes to Braxton in this Division I statement, he's 100% right, 100% correct. Our best team, but it was the only dudes we ever had.
That's only pool he had.
At that time, let's look back this. And at that time, those guys only wrestled probably 20 matches in high school per year, max. Then they wrestled maybe 20 matches in college per year per max. And then he went to Greco. So they probably have a couple hundred matches in their whole entire life going into their Greco-Roman career at 24, 26 years old. They didn't have Tulsa. They didn't have thousands of matches between third and high school, and then 60 matches in high school, and then college. But college is actually a reasonable amount of matches, honestly. If you think you look at college, wrestle. I mean, it's reasonable. So I appreciate that.
Yep.
But by the time they get there, their body's so worn out. And if you study cellular level degeneration, central nervous system development, and brain development, those things go hand in hand. As brain development increases, cellular level and regeneration decreases, and neural pathway development decreases. So, as you get smarter, pretty much, you get less. In its simplest form, as you get smarter, you get less athletic ability.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Because you're getting especially men. Because we don't.
No, yeah, totally not.
We don't get smart until we're 25. We're dumb until.
Yeah. So 25. And that's why gymnasts got to be Olympians, but you have to be an Olympic level gymnast by probably 8 or 9 years old. If you're not Olympic level gymnast by 8 or 9 years old, 10, you're never going to be one. You know what I mean? You're not going to be like 12 and be like, well, I'm level 9, bro. You're 4 years too late. You're going to, that's why, back in the day, girls would go to the Olympics at 10, 11, 12 years old.
Holy
shit. The only reason they made the Olympics at 16 years old is because they thought it was unfair that a 16, 18-year-old girl had to do a routine against same thing in diving against a 10-year-old. You know why? Because your 10-year-old son, Liam, when he was 10 years old, probably did some shit. So you're like, you could die. Why are you riding your bike with no shit on in the highway? His brain can't conceive death.
Right. They just do it.
Well, when you're 14, you're like, oh, shit.
I could die.
That road rash was horrible. When you're 10, you'll get road rash, get right back in that goddamn bike, and do it all over again.
Yep.
But that's it. They didn't do it for health. They didn't do it because they cared about athletes. They did it for a fair playing field because they thought it's not right to have a 10-year-old or 8-year-old from China or Japan competing against a 16 or 18-year-old from the United States. We're so far behind in development. And so our girls are like, oh my God, it's a mentality.
It is. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So with all that said, going back to the Braxton Amos thing, he's number 3. The problem is, and this is where he has to, everybody in that Division I program has to get out of their little cult, has to stop and go, what has changed between then and now? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing has changed. If Division I athletes or Sublet Greco weigh in at World Team Trials, they do.
Mm-hmm.
They just lose.
Sure.
They lose. They get the shit kicked out of them.
Yep.
And Braxton, I love the brother. I got his back 100% the day of the week.
Yep.
And he knows that what happened to him at senior World Team Trials. He didn't go to U23s because they didn't want to go to U23s. That was the Junior Madison decision for time frame. That's their choice.
Yep.
But I don't know how good he would have done at U23s because U23s is intense. It's for the other countries, that's just as important as seniors.
Yeah.
Because the feeder program.
Yep.
And so he should have seen how good it was there. Now look at Tracy Hancock. How you think of Tracy Hancock? He was like fifth in the world in third. So there's a massive gap in skill development there,
sure.
And he knows, and I think and I totally believe he can do it. But to sit there and say something's changed, nothing has changed. What has happened is guys going Greco there at WCAT going full time, at OTC full time, going to NMU now. They're right now. Like I'll
look
tell
at
you
how
story,
low cut
and I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to mention anybody. Guys at Division One.
Yep.
Guys at Division One. I'll give you 2 stories, maybe 3. I'll give you 3 stories. Division One. Story number 1. Division One athlete wins 2 or 3 national titles.
Yep.
His dad was a good Greco-Roman wrestler way back in the day. His brother right now is wrestling in college as well. This guy's a coach, or I'm not sure what he's doing right now. He goes Greco.
Yep.
I'm at camp, and this guy is a Division One. Straight, I mean, you're talking smart dude going to a premium high level college. He's not going to like a college you just walk in and get indoor and outdoor breathing degree.
Yep.
He can't grasp anything we're trying to show.
Oh,
okay. Boy. He which is a great guy. We're all like, hey, we're trying to help him.
He's trying, yeah.
Time,
yeah, right.
Just take time. He goes to U23 World Team Trials. He gets teched in like a minute or something like that by like our lowest, and I mean no disrespect to the other athletes.
Yeah.
But the guy that teched him won't scratch the ass of a placing at a tournament in the United States, much less make a world team or medal.
Wow.
Right? The guy quit Greco that very set that he got tagged, quit Greco right there. Quit. You're talking about a D1 athlete, multiple Division 1 titles, and he quit because he couldn't take the losing,
Yeah.
It was so different from him. Story number 2, we have a guy from in our division, our Big Ten school. Our school is in Big Ten. Not Big Ten. Our school's Big Ten. Goes to the Olympics and freestyle. I think he won an NCAA title. I'm not sure. Calls the big ruckus where he's at. One guy to move there went to North Carolina after he wrestled at the Olympic trials. He beat him, and he went to so anyways, he goes back to Greco like a couple of years ago. He goes, "I'm gonna try Greco." He went to the U.S. Open. I think some high school could beat the shit right out of him.
Really?
Jesus. This guy's teched immediately. Yeah, they know what they're doing. It's just a totally different sport.
Yeah.
It's like saying since you're good at baseball, you're good at basketball. They still play balls, basketball,
right.
football, soccer. Like things you're good at soccer, you're good at basketball. And so then story number 3, the most important story of all, probably the most successful college wrestler I can think of in the United States history. Who do you think in your opinion, who is the most successful college wrestler in the history of the United States today?
Today.
Like up to date. No,
Gable Steveson.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him. Before him, let's say.
Dan Gable. Before him. Cale Sanderson. Sorry, Cale.
Okay, Cale Sanderson. I'm gonna go with Kyle Dake.
Okay.
4 national titles.
Yeah. 4 different ways.
4 different weight classes.
Yeah.
4 different ways.
Okay.
Did he ever lose? Did you ever lose in college?
I
don't think so.
No.
Yes?
No, I don't think so.
Well, he lost to Burroughs, but I mean that was it.
That was after college, yeah.
Yeah.
I only ever lost. So they pay him. They bring him in to train Greco.
Yep.
And he trained Greco. And I was not there for this. The story is he's training Greco, and Matt goes to him, and so he goes to Matt. He goes, "Oh, so they're training because what they said we're going to wrestle." And Dave goes, this is his whole story, so I don't know if this is fact.
Right.
But this would end up happening because when I'm going to wrestle Greco, I want to wrestle the best guy in the world in Madison Square Garden, right? So Kyle Dake wrestled the previous year's world champion.
Yeah.
I can't say his name. It's from Armenia or whatever. Yeah. In Greco. Okay. And this guy had beat Vaslov, and then Vaslov actually beat him the very next year in the World Championships in Vegas. So, but the rules had changed, and the rules had changed by the time that match was scheduled in Madison Square Garden. But the guys from whatever country it was, Armenia, whatever, said I'll only wrestle the American if we use the old rule set because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to wrestling.
Sure.
Okay? And they said sure, whatever. And so Kyle Dake was training for him. Kyle Dake ended up losing like 2-0-4-0.
Really?
And people can just say you only lost 2 or 4-0, but that's like saying in soccer you lost 2-0.
I mean, it's still 2-0, but I mean, yeah.
You don't see 40-0 scores in soccer.
But here's the thing, though, too, is that I can equate it to, I mean, so how long did he train before he wrestled that match?
I'm probably thinking like seriously, like a real training.
Okay.
If I went, I'll probably say maybe a year, maybe not even probably. Right.
So I mean, I to me, I come away with it like that, but that's also coming from an area.
Here's the point. Here's the point. I'm not going to story.
Yeah.
So he's training with Matt. Matt told me the story, and he goes, and he's like in training, and he goes, "Oh, so you want my hips in first, and then I attack." He goes, "Yes," because in freestyle we attack first, typically like you shoot a shot, your arms go first, hips go second. Well, in Greco it's just the opposite. I was going to tell you, Greco it's like feet, knees, hips, hands, or chest last.
Yep, correct.
So it's like, that's why a lot of our guys you'll see in folk style do a lot of inside trips and stuff like that because you're using our legs first.
Yep, it's already there.
Most of my guys I rest train don't attack legs unless we can hook your leg or grab your leg with our leg.
Yep.
Just more Greco-y. So, like Polish laterals, inside trips, stuff like this. Sweeps, so like off balance, boom to it, like attack. So he goes, he clicked. He finally starts clicking. He's like, it's totally opposite. So he's in the elevator with a club owner from Wisconsin in Vegas. And the club owner from Wisconsin, not going to mention his name, goes, hey, everybody in Greco, honestly, everybody in Greco was super excited to get Kyle Dick in the Greco. They're like, we're going to have dude's an athlete.
Someone,
and he would, if he would stick with Greco, if he would have, I'm saying, he would be amazing, right?
Yeah.
Because he made the world team in Greco already as a junior.
Yep.
He always was. So he had experience. He goes, so this is the story. I'm not sure if it's true or not. Just wanted to say, I'm going to keep you guys' name out of it. I don't want to embarrass him if it's not true. But I can see it saying because he wrestled that match. And he never wrestled Greco again. Never again. And his club owner asked him, hey, you going to stick with Greco? He goes, no, there's too much to change. It's just too different. Okay, I'm talking about probably one of the best athletes on the earth.
Yeah.
And he thinks, bro, I can't do it. It's too late. The best athlete. 4-time Division I champion, Division weight class is saying if it's true, that it's too late. Because if it's true or not, doesn't really matter because that's what happened. He didn't stick with.
Sure, yeah.
Right?
I mean, he could probably pick up a little bit, but even he recognizes the complexity. To be good.
Or he maybe enjoyed folks freestyle a lot more. He was saying something nice.
Could be.
Being nice. But it doesn't matter. But the point is, he didn't stick with Greco. He stayed with the freestyle. And it could be for the money. Maybe it's the money. It could be a lot of things,
Yep.
But that's the story. I guarantee you, if Gable Stevenson came to Greco, he would do fine. He's such an amazing athlete.
Way fine.
Yeah. But he's not gonna.
No, because in
people talk about
WWE.
freestyle guys wrestling Greco, I'm like, the freestyle guys do wrestle Greco. They do weigh in, but they typically lose. Like right now, when Braxton says that thing about the Division I athletes, bro, you guys, the Division I athletes are weighing in. Peyton O'Manu weighed in. The guys weighed in. A bunch of guys weighed in.
Yep.
They didn't make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hayden Zilmer. Division 2. What was he in college? But no, he was Division 2 or 3, wasn't he in college?
No, Hayden Zilmer. He was Division I. Zilmer, I thought, went to Zilmer. Wasn't he not Iowa State? Wasn't he Minnesota? No.
I don't know.
Yeah. Zilmer was D1. I remember him wrestling D1.
Okay, whatever he was.
Yep.
But like he almost beat Tracy Hancock one time.
Yep.
Almost. And then he quit Greco and he went back to foot freestyle. Now, I'll be honest with you, if we had 5 hidden Zilmers wrestling Greco, pushing Tracy Hancock, or a guy like that pushing Braxton, they would all get better. Like we obviously, iron sharpens the old iron sharpens iron methodology. But these freestyle guys come to Greco and they try it and they don't do well against guys they believe aren't, I'm not sure what they're saying. I'm not going to say what they're thinking.
Yeah,
but they lose to guys that aren't. They're losing to guys that aren't our best guys. Or they're losing to our best guys. And they say, I'll go back to freestyle. I'm more comfortable there.
Yep.
It's more comfortable. I don't blame them. Our Greco guys are like, Greco athletes typically don't wrestle freestyle and folk style. They're like, they understand, like, okay, I respect the fact that guy's going to pick me apart from the waist down.
Yeah.
The dude's going to pick me apart. I understand that I could be like Joe Rao. He wrestled freestyle. He wrestled David Terre, remember?
Yes, correct.
He tackled the freestylers. He kicked the shit out of him. They was going to kick the shit out of him. Yep. But I think the smart Greco guys respect the fact, like, hey, I'm doing Greco. And for me to go to Greco at an international world level, I understand I could probably do okay in freestyle, but I'm not scratching the ass of the top 2-3 guys. You know what I mean? In freestyle.
No.
They're not.
Right.
They're not. I mean, maybe at heavyweight because of but even that, Gable Stevenson is so athletic. I mean, he could probably cross over and do fine immediately.
Yep.
He taught him stuff. He's just and it's a heavyweight class. It's a little different style of wrestling, honestly.
Yep.
I mean, he had to. I mean, it is what it is.
Zomer, I think Zomer went to North Dakota State, and then I think he's with the Gopher Wrestling Club for international style. But State on that.
And then so, but I'm just saying, so it's like when the athletes and coaches say, well, our Division I athletes, we got to support them. You support them. RTC.
Yeah,
support them.
Right, correct.
Who's going to support the Division I athletes? It's make it sound like Greco-Roman wrestling saying, no, we don't want any more Greco-Roman athletes.
Yeah.
We ain't. Who the fuck? No. USA Wrestling, nobody's saying that.
Yeah.
We're saying, more. We need to fill the brackets. Come wrestle.
Right.
Please come train Greco.
Yep.
Please come train Greco.
The door's not closed. Yeah.
But so when Braxton says that he's 100% correct, 100% right, I believe I'm 100% on board.
Yep.
We step back and say, why isn't it happening? It's still happening.
Yeah.
They're just not winning.
Right.
The Greco-Roman wrestling is not what it was. And we have to look back, and Timmy Hansby get this. The rule set of when we won Worlds was the best 2 out of 3 is a defensive, non-scoring action wrestling set.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that I won not doing anything.
Yep.
I won matches, do not scoring. It's very folk style minded type thing. Like I can ride I don't have to score on top. I just ride you out, right?
Yep.
No risk action has to be taken. No, you can score points in folk style with no risk actions. You can't. It's very hard to score points in freestyle Greco without risk action.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets complicated. But with that said, it's just a different rule set. So when we come to folk style and that our rule set, we can just not do anything and stop you from scoring. We can win. That rule set is gone. In Greco-Roman wrestling and freestyle wrestling, you have to actually take risks.
Yep.
You have to attack with technique on the opposite side.
Yep. And you're rewarded for it.
If I'm wrestling you or Liam or whatever, and I'm like, I'm going to sit back and shut you down, they're going to say, oh, you can shut me down?
Mm-hmm.
This guy just tried 4 things. Boom, we're putting you down.
Right.
And then I get gutted out.
Yep.
So that system's gone. And so when people say that stuff, we have to take account the way the system of wrestling was and some other things that happened during that time frame. And all those athletes and 100% of those athletes on that world championship team trained Greco full time for a very long time before that. He didn't jump out of the NCAAs. Bro, look at that team.
Yeah.
DC Dancer, Byers, WCAP guys.
Mm-hmm.
They were full-time Greco-Roman athletes for quite a long time before that championship. And there was an upset. There was a massive upset. The guy from Cuba lost for Byers to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So things fell in place. And you have to be there you have to, take advantage of those situations, which we did.
Right.
But, that's like saying, okay, we were good one time. It's not a good stuff. So I support Braxton Amos and 100%. I love Braxton. I love my Division I athletes.
Yep.
But we have to respect the fact, when they say stuff like that, we have to get back to that. We don't have to get back to that. We're still there. Nothing's changed.
Right.
If we want more Division I athletes wrestling Greco, don't talk to Greco people. Don't talk to USA Wrestling. Talk to your college coaches.
Yep. Right. Push it. Push it more.
Push it. Weigh in.
Yep.
And the guys that are weighing in like Braxton are doing quite well.
Mm-hmm.
But now we need to win a medal. It's qualified. Here in the United States, to make the world team, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart and love for all my athletes, isn't very hard.
Yeah.
At the world scale.
Yep.
In Greco. Winning a medal is really hard. In freestyle, controversially, if you make the world team in freestyle nowadays, the last probably 10 years, if you get to the meat grinder minefield of crazy talent in freestyle, you're probably pretty prepared for world level in freestyle.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Women and men. But Greco's not that way. So it's like, okay, so making the team, congrats, golf clap, talk to me, keep your mouth shut to win a medal.
Yep.
Win a medal.
Yep.
And they can talk. But so I'm saying right now with the guys saying that we have to say, yes, we are people when they say that, but Braxton don't mean you're not offending me, you're not offending USA Wrestling.
No.
You're probably offending all the high school college coaches saying, I don't want my kids wrestling Greco.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want them wrestling Greco.
Well,
that's great, Braxton. We want them wrestling Greco.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, how many Division I athletes wrestling Greco right now are pretty comparable? You got Braxton, Colton Schultz, Peyton Omania. I know 3 guys right there that have the ability and probably experience to be pretty successful.
Mm-hmm.
And Colton Schultz probably being the best of all those guys. Then Peyton Omania. And then and probably Braxton third when it comes to not like being successful, being skill set educated. Because Colton's been training Greco for a very long time at the highest level with high level coaches, and so is Peyton Omania. In fact, his coach had passed away, which hasn't helped him at all a while back. Halverson, and which is like one of the Greco greats in the United States. And then you have Braxton, and he's had very limited. Braxton said, for Braxton, how successful Braxton is in Greco, he's had just minuscule amounts of training. So I can just imagine if Braxton was able to train X amount of hours per week in Greco, how good he would really be.
Sure.
Because right now he's training 0 hours in Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nope.
Yeah.
But he commented on how those guys do allow him, like if he does need to get out and train, and that they've harbored that and allowed him to be able to get out and do what he needs to do.
Said,
but
why he went to Wisconsin. Remember you asked that question about Wisconsin?
Yeah. Yep.
Like why Wisconsin? And he's like, this is like one of the, well, didn't correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he say like, this is like one of the few colleges that said, hey, we'll support your Greco, we'll be your partners, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And so that's where, like, I mean, here, so we got Wisconsin, like, so a lot, and I've had a lot of guys over the years go to colleges, and like, oh, yeah, Greco.
Yeah.
And
then nothing.
The college coaches tell my athlete, oh, we support Greco. We had a guy do the U.S. Open All-American.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like telling me you were a conference champion in Wisconsin. Come on, get out of here.
Right.
Get out of here. Don't talk so damn stupid.
Yeah.
And so, but when you get guys like Bono and Reeder saying, hey, we'll support you, Greco.
Yep.
Furthermore, we'll get you out to the OTC.
Yes.
We'll bring in people to work with you. We'll ship, because he went overseas to Croatia with us last year. They're actually doing what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not like you can say them everywhere you want, but they're spending dollars.
Yep.
There's a big difference between they say, hey, you can run Greco. We'll keep the lights on for you at the practice. That's one way. It's a whole nother world, like Bono and Reeder saying, we'll support Greco because we're going to spend some money.
Sure.
That's
they're investing.
Besides Zeke Jones, maybe Michigan now, Kuhn, Michigan, my bad.
Oh yeah,
Michigan's spending money.
True. Sorry, Michigan.
And so there's Kuhn, and I know right now Michigan's spending good money to get Kuhn prepared.
Yep.
Wisconsin, Zeke Jones down in Arizona. With and then also Michigan State. I don't know. I forget the guy's name. I'm really sorry for this guy. Great guy from Michigan State. That's kind of like the coach of Peyton now, because he's the Michigan State assistant coach. I think was a Greco athlete, I believe, but really supportive. They're bringing guys in, and they're spending money.
Yep,
that's another one. They're spending money on Greco-Roman wrestling.
Good.
So we have a few, but we need more than just 2 or 3 colleges.
Well,
you know what
hopefully
I mean?
It's a good trend. Hopefully going in the next decade or so, we can definitely see a larger trend of that for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'll be watching those events for sure coming up, especially the one in France here. That's this month yet, right?
Yeah. The France, we have one Greco athlete there.
That's
fine. And I have no idea. I just know his face. I'll be honest. I know who he is. The freestyle should be good. Croatia's the one you want to watch.
Croatia? Okay. February. That's the beginning of February.
Benji's wrestling there.
Okay. We'll be watching that Zagreb Open.
Yeah, I think Peyton might go. Because Peyton tried going and he couldn't get on. He's not number 1 or 2.
Okay. Cool.
He's like something or whatever. And then I think I heard that whatever weight class that is that 77 that there might be an opening for him. The one guy might be injured or something. He may not go. He might be able to go.
All right. Well,
Paulson's not wrestling. He's just going to train. His next competition will be Thor's. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And again, I saw that one listed too. That was the Thor one.
Yeah,
but well.
But no, I think it's. I like when you bring out Braxton and the Greco guys because we don't have much exposure.
Yeah,
and I thought it was really good of him to sit there and say, I like the question because I never thought about like when you said that question. Like, oh, kind of why do you go to Wisconsin? Like, because you're talking Penn State, right?
Yeah,
big names.
Yeah,
like bro, like this is a huge, like pull. Like for you're pulling an athlete from the big names and money, money they got, the facilities and all that kind of. And then to sit there and say it's because they're going to support their athlete.
Yep.
And the athlete's aspiration, I thought, man.
Yep.
I thought that was really freaking awesome.
Huge.
So if we could have, and maybe a few colleges is enough.
Yep.
But then we just need more athletes in those colleges doing Greco. Because I'm not telling people not to go to folk style Division I, and I'm honestly not a Division 1, 2, or 3 guy. I'm like, you go to college. I mean, if you're in Division 3.
Yeah. Whatever.
Bro, light it up.
Yeah.
Light it up.
Light it up.
Love it up. Yeah.
Yep.
Don't tell me, you got D1 athlete bullshit.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, if you're competing, you're competing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It
doesn't matter.
So if you're a college athlete and you're Platteville, they're supporting Greco. I work with those guys a ton.
I got Kittleson coming on. Yep.
Yeah, he's great. I love Kittleson.
Yep.
There's a few other coaches that I think are not good guys because they just totally lie to their athletes. They go back and send athletes over. And I never see him in Greco.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, aren't you guys trained? He goes, dude, we're doing train. I'm not going to show up. I'm really trained. So, yeah. But Kittleson's the real deal.
Yep.
Boner and Reeder run a good training center. But people have to understand, like, we're not telling you not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying we need a service or train or whatever you want to call that.
Yep.
The college, the college folk style athlete, collegiate style athlete that goes Greco.
Yep.
And We need to service, but we also need to have another athlete like a full-time good guy. We just can't have one because the style and I mean, just go watch the matches.
Yeah.
Go watch the guys wrestle in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
They weren't doing the shit we're doing now.
Nope. It's way different.
They're not doing the shit we're doing now.
Nope.
I mean, we're not doing the shit we're teaching right now. We weren't teaching 5 years ago.
It was back in the day. I remember just watching a bunch of
5 years ago, we weren't teaching guys
pummeling.
to stand up off bottom.
Yeah.
Right now in Greco and freestyle, if you can't score off bottom and you can't get off bottom and score, you want to be very good.
Yeah. Well, let's see how these fuckers score when they go out to Croatia. Hopefully they nail it. So, well, let's
honestly, I don't know who's all going. I think it's big. I think it's big military presence.
Yeah.
WCAP presence.
Whatever.
But yeah, I think that's good. So if you can bring for me selfishly, if you can still bring on those athletes that are like Greco, folk.
Like I said, Nutter and all those guys. I want to bring all those guys on, have those guys talk. I mean, I think I've reached out to a couple. Like I've reached out to Kylie Welker. I've reached out to her, get her on, stuff like that for the international styles as far as the girls. But I reached out to Jones. Just waiting for him to reply back because I want to have him. I just like I like his hair flying through the air when he's throwing. Sam Jones.
Oh yeah, he's probably still. He's probably still in Colorado.
Could be, yeah. But I'm just waiting for a reply back. But I'm definitely. I want to have a lot more Greco on. So that's the main point. Is kind of exposing things that people don't really know about.
Well, it's nice when you have like the Braxton Amoses on. They're like the transitional athlete.
Yep.
Because for me, honestly, that's our recruiting base is the folk style. Obviously, recruiting athletes out of folk style. I am at the younger age level, right?
Yep.
But then if people because. Like we have athletes right now wrestling in high school. Like I just really like I really like some folks. I like wrestling dual meets. Like wrestling folks.
Yeah.
They like doing. They like it. Like they like fishing. Whatever.
You like wrestling,
and I'm like, we need to support those athletes.
Yep.
So I want everybody to know, like people like always. I'm Greco, right? But I'm not pretending like
you're pro athlete.
I'm pro athlete,
yep.
But I'm like, you come to me for the Greco, and we'll help you with the folk style. Yep. But the folk style can be handled by your high school coaches and their club coaches. Right. We're not going to infringe it. So the ones that work with us and that do really good. So it's like, people are like, oh, if I'm not full-time Greco, I can't go to the camp. Right. I can't go to train your whatever 1 day a week. I get calls all the time like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I come in Mondays for blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, and I get the call. I said a call. I'm like, well, he doesn't really like Greco. Was that all you're doing? I'm like, here. Just pretend I said wrestling practice.
Yeah, right.
Don't even, you know what I mean?
Block it out of your head. That's like going to the
weight room saying, I don't like doing squats. It's like, well, you go there, you got to do something, Right. So I just like, so like parents not worrying about what we call it. And so like, I think some people, I get a bad, incorrect, whatever about me. He's like, oh, he's only doing Greco.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing Greco-Roman wrestling. But at the same time, it's our belief that this is going to help your folk style. Yeah. And when those guys come in for that 1 day a week for the close athletes, we are only doing stuff that is going to relate. We're not doing Polish finishes and parterre. Yeah. We're doing relatable skills.
Right.
How to use your 2-on-1 and underhook. And it can easily be like, oh, if you talk, so for me, I get really perturbed when people are like, all they do is Greco.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's you guys don't understand.
They don't.
You don't get it. We're servicing both athletes.
Correct. Because you guys understand that these guys are in high school wrestling.
Well, here people get wrong is I am providing as a few other guys the athletes that just want to do Greco. Before everybody's like, no, you have to do folk style, you have to do this, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Until I came along and a few others, they're saying, no. If you love Greco, we'll service you.
Yep.
Because all we're doing is servicing the amount of the clientele that didn't have an outlet before.
Right.
So let's kind of build that they will come thing.
Yep.
Yep. And so sometimes folk style gets this like. I'm not saying folk style as an entity, but like people that talk. So like,
I'm mainly from that world.
Take it as I'm saying folk style is really shitty. I'm just saying, no, I think the guys that love Greco should have the ability to follow their passion.
Yep.
Right? Like guys also just folk style.
Yep.
They do freestyle, So we're doing that, So, yeah.
Well, we'll cover some more. We'll definitely we'll recap once Croatia's over with. We'll talk again. If there's anything more in between, like I don't see anything big coming up. So it's just you guys are training for that stuff. So
the international schedule is pretty every 6 to 8 weeks is a big event.
Yeah.
No, in fact, I'll get back from Sweden And then I'll watch creation. We'll do something after creation because my boys won't be back for a while. In fact, like guys like Austin will be overseas from now until March. You know?
Okay. Right on.
So we usually try to do them long stints.
Yeah.
When you go overseas, you want the athletes over there. If you want, like for Greco anyways.
Yeah.
You want them overseas for at least 10 to 15 days, bare minimum.
Okay.
To get any benefit from it.
Sure.
Training wise.
Yep.
So we always fly over, Wayne, and we always fly, compete immediately. We don't go over like a Monday and train very rarely. I don't like that.
A couple days, then you go compete. Yeah.
Boom, 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 compete. Because we don't give our just because on a science level, it's like I can't have the sleep deprivation problem.
Sure.
Time difference thing, jigger. Yep. So we fly over, boom, compete, get it over with.
Yep.
Because our guys are ready to rock. Ready to fight.
Yep.
And then we'll sit back, and then also everybody after competition trains together overseas, and everybody's a lot more open.
Sure. Okay.
Everybody's like more open to train with you. Yep. Before competition, everybody's like reserved.
Yeah, they want to hide shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So and so for us physically, at the time we were flying backwards, not forwards in time.
Yep.
Is that it's better for us to fly over, boom. But we always fly on a Wednesday, land on a Thursday, weigh in Friday, so rest of Saturday, Sunday, boom, and then compete for 2 weeks, come home. Or train 2 weeks, come home.
Yeah.
It's always we might do a competition like not before we come back sometimes, but that seems to be the best scenario because then you get culture, you get all the feel and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they're a lot more receptive to helping you after competition.
Sure.
So
makes sense. Cool. Well, hey, we'll end it at that. We'll talk to you after Croatia, man. I mean, we always appreciate you having on here, and sitting down with us and especially discussing Greco because it's important. I just got done listening to the 5 Point Move and it was good listening to those guys. So, but definitely. Hey, hit me up with the list again. We'll definitely, we'll wind up talking after Croatia.
Sounds good, brother.
Cool, man. Oh, hey, appreciate you. It's been Lucas Steldt on another episode of Terre. Thank you, Liam, for helping with some of the research. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Doing some searching. And it was great sitting out talking about Final X.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Adios.
All right. All of our episodes are brought to you by Appleton Tattoo, located at 117 South Appleton Street in Appleton, Wisconsin, right off the main drag on College Avenue. You can't miss them. I've had some work done. I have a Celtic cross that covers my back that was done by Jason. We're not done yet. Jason Winans and crew, the artists that he have there, those guys are the best in the Fox Valley. They are definitely one to go to if it's something that you've just been kind of throwing around. They'll make you feel comfortable. It's a very clean environment, very nice crew, and very willing to get done whatever you need done when you need it done. You can message them on Facebook. I know they're on Facebook. You can give them a call at 920-604-8289 and get in touch with Jason Winans and crew at Appleton Tattoo, located again in Appleton, Wisconsin at 117 South Appleton Street, right in Appleton. Very flexible hours, great crew, clean environment again. I would not send you anywhere else except for these guys. Appleton Tattoo.